Good evening and welcome to round 6 of the ASR development series from Hidden Valley up in Darwin. And yes, Lewis Wedding is back in the commentary box, so good to be back. And as always, alongside NZSnipes. Snipes, how's it going, mate?
Yeah, good, Lewis. Good to be here. I'm certainly excited for a race around the track that I really enjoy. A very flowy circuit here tonight at Hidden Valley. I'm going well. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it should be a very intriguing round, both in the Supercars series and in previous sort of dev series events around here. We've seen some good racing. That long pit straight, which obviously shares a drag strip just alongside it, gives drivers plenty of straight to slipstream and a pretty hefty braking zone down there into turn number one. But you've also got a number of other passing opportunities around this circuit as well if you're brave enough. It's also got some little quirks as well, with some little bumps off camber corners and the like. So it should be good night of racing. So might as well just get straight into the circuit info. I have mentioned a little bit of it. So here we are, 14 turns, of course, 3 races this evening with 14 laps with a time limit of 25 minutes. Depending on safety cars. Hopefully we don't get too many. Now, something which will be interesting to look out for here, Snipes, a qualifying lap record set by, of course, Damon Woods, who was definitely no slouch in the sim racing community and would only do a couple of rounds before being pretty much forcibly promoted. 105.2 is the qualifying lap record. That is possibly under threat. The fastest time we've seen so far during the week is by Noah Turra, a 105.3, and he is here this evening, and he's half a tenth away from matching that personal best that he set on that 105.342. So potential record up for grabs here if you can put it all together.
Yeah, no doubt. Certainly has the opportunity to take that there. Damon Woods, as you said, no slouch, was an absolute weapon in the Super 2 series for the couple of races he raced. So it would certainly be quite a prize to snare, I feel. And yes, there is a chance. I feel Noah Tara's probably your only realistic chance there. The other drivers, whilst they're not hugely far off, the times have been massive this week, honestly. There's still just a couple of tenths off that ultimate pace there, though, that 105.3, which is absolutely blistering considering there is absolutely no adjustments to the setup. You get everyone gets stock setup here. It's rather understeery. You've got to wait for it, so it's a pretty whipping pace.
Yeah, outside of obviously the roll bars and brake bias, so you can adjust while you're in the car, you can't adjust anything else. So the fact that I think it's about half the people outside of the main series drivers that have jumped in to do some laps to help some people during the week. Outside of those guys, it's still got about half the field underneath the 105 mark, which is an impressive effort from everybody involved. And even if you're into the sixes, it's still a solid lap time around here, particularly if it's race pace as well. So there's been a number of people put in a heap of laps for this. So it will be interesting to see how it goes. Hopefully they have a clean night, because it definitely is frustrating if you do put in a heap of laps and then have a rough night. But that qualifying record, outside chance of being broken by Naoto, race lap record will be interesting to see if a 105.6 by Curtis Ekmanis, aka Termo, could be beaten. And I reckon we could see it, but may need a little bit of a tow and a little bit of clear running for that to happen. So that's something to look out for. As my game crashes, so that's not ideal. But we're in the broadcast, and I've got broadcast screens up, so that's okay. Just won't hear the cars buzzing around in the background. While this is happening, though, the drivers have concluded their drivers' briefing. They're not in qualifying just yet, I don't think. Let me just double check. Yeah, still in practice session, getting some final checks and balances there. So we'll cut over to the driver standings, or at least the top 10 for now, which is all occupied, of course, by Super 2 runners. Nathan Higginson now leads the way on 13 190 points ahead of Lachlan Lock. And those guys have a bit of a points gap over Cheese. Lachlan Lock on 12.32. Cheese there in third place now on 10.60. Ben Hall on 9.04. But he's had some personal dramas and has had to sort of pull out. Obviously tonight he's had work call him up. But from what we're hearing, it may already have had his final round of the season, or perhaps the next round will be his final round. Have Steve Warwick on 8.74. Darren Kemp on 8.46. Taipan on 7.76 with Justin Cecil 7.02. Matt Cecil right behind on 6.90 with Phil Donny rounding out the top 10. So looking at that championship order and what we've seen so far and who's in the serve and what times that they've set here, Snipes, who's a bit of a smoky to sort of move up the standings and shake it up a little bit tonight?
Well, look, Steve Warwick had some really good pace throughout the week. He's set the second fastest time in the server overall for all the runners anyway in Super 2 or Super 3. He's a couple of tenths behind Noah. Now he's fifth in the championship, so if he can convert that, he can certainly gain some points. Obviously, he's going to gain on Ben Hall, sadly not here tonight. But if he can convert that, he can get some points up over the likes of Nathan Higginson, who's a little bit down on pace tonight, a little bit down on form, perhaps. But so it's like an opportunity, I suppose, for Warwick to move forwards, and he's one to watch out for, I reckon.
Yeah, certainly looking at the live races, starting to put it all together. 105.495 for Steve is his personal best. Pardon me, throughout the week. And just in the practice session that's just concluded, or about to conclude, he's done a 105.6, so he's still there or thereabouts, and second fastest overall, third fastest overall at the moment in the server, although not with the overall lap time. Is a Super 3 run, obviously Bailey Hall. This is his second or his third event, and he's put in a heap of laps tonight, so look out for his car this evening to throw a cat amongst the pigeons. So that will be one to look out for. But doing laps in the practice serve is one thing. Being able to dance your way around a circuit with 20 plus other cars is a completely different beast. As we've ticked over to the qualifying sessions, and let's hope we don't have any more crashing issues here.
Indeed, let's hope not to have those sorts of things. But yeah, no, you're definitely right there. Lewis, he's definitely one to watch out for tonight. Bailey Hall's driving in the Super 3 category. If he continues pace like that, he shouldn't be in it for long, though. That is lightning pace from someone, especially out of that Super 3 category. He's currently, at least in the practice server, got a good second or so above his next Super 3 combatant, so it's definitely an opportunity to move forward, obviously in Super 3, but in the overall championship he'll be racing, I expect, in the mid-pack to the back end, maybe in the middle of the top 10.
Yeah, so going to be interesting to see how qualifying shakes out. Of course, we do have 3 races, and qualifying only sets up the grid for the first race of the evening, and then of course where you finish in the races is where you end up for the next race. As Christian Shadow will be the first man out of the pits. Christian Alvarez, he's changed his name between rounds by the look of it here. And running the nickname instead of the final name. Darren Kemp in behind him. He'll be the second man with Matt Cecil behind him to set a lap time.
Yeah, so if you're Darren Kemp here, you probably want to see that it's a Super 3 runner in front of you, and you've got 2 decisions. You can try and get past him on this lap, or you can sit back, give him some space. You know you're likely going to be faster than the guy, so you really want to you don't want to balk yourself by being too close to him, because there's a chance that he could make a mistake, or you could just catch him, and that would be disastrous for your qualifying efforts.
Certainly will. Another thing to take note of is the track temperature will rise during this session. Air temp 31 or 32 degrees, I believe, and the track temp's only 31, or it might be the other way around. But the later on in the session, the hotter the track will be, of course, the hotter the tyres will become, which may not be ideal, but it also may help you if you have a slow out lap as well. You might end up getting the tyres right into that range, as a number of our runners now starting their qualifying lap. Got live timing on my other screen, but we have Christian Alvarez, aka Christian Shadow, on screen at the moment. 22.9 in the first split, as he takes a bit of curb there at turn number 5. And a lot of curb there at turn 6. I wonder if he even picked up a track cut from that. He's gone straight over the top on the inside. And you can see already in the background that Aaron Kemp closing in quite quickly. Noah Tara 22.5, Bailey Hall at 22.5 in the first split. 1 Super 2, 1 Super 3. As Shadow now out of the final corner. And we'll be punching a hole quite nicely for Darren Kemp in the final sector here. So 107.5, which is immediately eclipsed by Darren Kemp on a 106.5. And now Noah Tara to the top, a 105.4. And Bailey Hall only 4 tenths away, 105.8. 105.870. So very handy start already for our Super 3 runner.
Absolutely. Look, that's probably going to be a top 5 kind of time there as that, but Noah Tara laying down the gauntlet first lap, 105.44. That's very, very quick first up.
Certainly is, and we'll see if he is going around ahead as Steve Warwick drifts his way through turn number 1. In fact, we'll stick with him here. We do have Tara has gone fractionally faster than himself in the first sector, but we'll stay with Steve here. Having a massive crack there at turn 1. He has stopped a bit of time and he's going to run wide and probably go back to the pits there. Looks like he's aborted this run. And let's see what Tara can do. He's continued to press on his lap, and in fact he's going into the pit lane. So as is Bailey Hall. Zach Brown in P4 at the moment. So good effort from him.
He's been very, very quick in practice also. Looked, I've got the inside of Felipe there, but they both got it a little bit wrong, and Zach Brown sets back to the garage.
Got cheese. Nice. Sorry to cut you. I've got cheese at 1.5 tenths here. So...
Oh, Walsh around in front of him.
Yeah, it's not ideal, as Cheese also gets a little bit sideways and next to the final corner. He needs to find a little bit more than a tenth, but you'll take any tenth you can get, but you are going faster. So yeah, he did lose that time with the slide, as we see a number of runners now beginning to start their second runs.
These are starting to get more important as time goes on. If you haven't quite set a lap that you're happy with, the pressure rises. If you've got some sort of expectation for where you want to be in the field and you're not there, you certainly start to feel the heat as qualifying ticks down. So it's important to get it right as early as you can, but also the track's always going to be at its best later on, largely anyway. So there's a bit of a fine line.
Certainly is, and Lockie Lock here, important for his championship battle as he gets a bit of airtime there, using all the curb. He's up into P2, and of course championship leader Nathan Higginson, man, he's trying to chase down. He's well down at the moment in P12, so pressure will build here, and as you said, you want to set at least a decent banker early in the session so you've got a little bit more freedom later on in the session to just go out there and take more risk on your next qualifying run as Lock goes and peels off the circuit. We've also got Noah Tara starting a lap. He's also got Bailey Hall right behind him in his slipstream, but they may have a little bit of traffic with Damo and Darren Kemp just ahead of him here.
Traffic gets out of the way so that these faster guys can go through, which is handy. I feel he's going to get a good clean lap before Darren Kemp becomes a problem. Darren Kemp's got reasonable pace himself tonight, so there's actually quite a few guys that are in the fives in the overall practice pace. There's only a couple that have actually made the current time, so our top 5 are in the fives basically, and then it's back 4 tenths or 3 and a bit tenths to Cheese and 6. And
sorry to cut you. We've got Tara on a lap here, but he's got Bailey Hall all over the back of him throughout this lap. I wonder, Hall has just crossed that split. He's down on his own time by just under a tenth, but he should get a slipstream coming out of the final corner. So he may be able to find a little bit of extra time here, and might be able to steal a position or 2 off of Warwick and Locke, because those guys are very close together, and Higginson's also now jumped up to P2, and he does find a little bit of time, does Hall, and he does jump Steve Warwick.
Yep, so he's definitely gained there. Good for Bailey Hall. Good smart tactical play. Certainly looking racy tonight in that Super 3 car. He's going to be right up the front, really putting it somewhere it perhaps doesn't belong. So it's a very good effort, but a lot of laps will help get you there.
It certainly will, and I'm just going to have a look at the... Well, we'll bring it up, the amount of laps that he's done. So, Bailey Hall in live races has done a solid 460. Well, he started 466 laps. As I've got another game crash, which isn't ideal. So I may have to turn down some more settings here. But yeah, 466 laps, 405 completed. So that is a number of laps. But we've also had Darren Loughlin do 609 started and 530 completed. So a lot of laps have been put down this week.
Yeah, certainly the whole field has really been pressing the action this week. It's getting serious, getting towards. We're through the middle of the season now, so we're getting towards crunch time very soon. These positions will get harder and harder to make up as you get later in the season. So good results are certainly important, as many of them as possible.
Certainly is. So again, do apologise for the crashing here. Just trying to get back into the game at the moment, and indeed we are loading in. So just to round off the order here in live races, Noah Tara heads Nathan Higginson and Lachlan Locke. Bailey Hall in Super 3 up there in 4th place ahead of Steve Warwick and Zach Brown 5th and 6th with Cheese 7th, Kemp in 8th, Taipan in 9th with Felipe rounding out the top 10. And is the game going to load, or is it going to crash again here? Is the big thing. It is giving me the old loading screen here, but it should loading.
As Lockie Locke has spun it out on one of his qualifying laps here. There's only a minute to go left in the session at this point in time, so there's not really too much time. Noah Tara's parked it. He's happy. I think so I'd say that the qualifying lap record no longer able to be broken, I don't think, unless Nathan Higginson or Lockie Locke pulls something absolutely magical out of your bed, who knows where. But Noah Tara happy with his position. It is certainly on though for 2nd and 3rd with only a couple of hundredths between Higo and Locke. That's super close.
All it is a little bit less of a wiggle, a little bit of a better run out of a corner, even just carrying an extra couple Ks for a few metres through an apex of a corner is all that time is. So Higginson, he's got 20 seconds to start a lap. Lockie Locke has just started his final lap.
Yes, Lockie Locke, bit of a slide there into one he had. He locked his rears on the way in, so I'd say that this is, he's hit the grass on the inch 5 there, so that's all over Rover for him. Higginson probably shoring up P2 there with Hall also parked as well. The whole top 5 are basically settled there with Tara, Higo, Lockie Locke, Bailey Hall and Steve Warwick. Basically, most other people are parked up here. We've got Cheese up on his time, coming towards a couple of tenths coming towards the last corner now, out on the way out of it. So he's got about, if he can find a tenth and a bit, he'll catch Zach Brown and move forward into P6. If he gets everything, he could move up to 5th. Let's see.
Second.
Oh wow! It's gone second!
He didn't just find 1 or 2 tenths, he found a handful, and 105.6 up into P2. So, Higginson just bailed on his lap before it even got to turn 1. You might regret that now, because Cheese now on the front row, Noah Tara steals it at the death. And Lockie Locke he'll, of course, regret making the mistakes that he made on that lap. Felipe, he also crosses the line but doesn't improve. But Justin Cecil now, he's running to the line. He also fails to improve. Looks like Felipe Ayrton, that is, has blown his engine down there coming into turn 1. And looks like that is it for everybody. So there you go. Late drama here. And Noah Tara will have Cheese joining him on the front row as opposed to Nathan Higginson.
He's pulled that one out there, has Cheese. He certainly put it together in the last lap. He's put in a bit more practice than he normally does. A lot of the time he just practices when he hops on the server for the race, but he's put in a couple of laps throughout this week, and that's paid off, putting him on the front row, knocking on the door of a good result there.
Certainly is. But of course, qualifying's one thing. Got to get off the line nicely, and it is a long run to turn one. So even if you do get a decent launch, you do have cars that could get a slightly better start. Then of course pick up the slipstream, or just simply dive bomb you into turn one. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it all plays out. But about 5 minutes away here from race number one. So that gives us about enough time to go over the second half of the driver standings here. The 11th to 20th placed drivers, which of course features a number of our Super 3 runners. So as you can see, Rudy, Benjamin Rhodes, leads the Super 3 class on 566 points and is 11th overall ahead of Luke Jaeger. Phil Boak on 524 ahead of Ayrton Filippi and Zach Brown. It's quite weird to see two race winners buried outside the top 10, but that's what happens when you miss rounds. You do drop a fair chunk of points. We have Darren Lockman on 494 ahead of Peter Thrower and Laszlo Teglas, and then Noah Tara, of course he's missed a number of rounds, but will be our pole sitter for race number one. He's on 402 points ahead of Bratt on 388.
Yeah, Brap a chance for a late showing tonight. I believe he's doing his best to be able to make it. He might not make it till the later races, but I believe he's going to be here. But yeah, Noah Tara expected definitely to shoot up some points there with those standings, as he's only 50 points behind Teglas and a matter of 80 points behind Peter, who's not here tonight. So there'll be definitely plenty of points up for grabs if he can convert that pole.
Yeah, provided he finishes all the races, he should see him jump up a number of positions. And move himself closer towards the top 10 in the standings. But yeah, hopefully Bratt does make it, but is touch and go if he's able to jump in or not. So we may see him miss the first race or two, but we may see him in races 2 or 3 should he miss the race 1. Alright, team standings. Luke McHugh Racing leads the standings, but only by 10 points over HME, powered by Kiwi SimSport. That should change, provided HME don't have a disastrous night. Of course, Ben Hall not here this evening, and possibly for the remainder of the season, so they're relying solely on Lachlan Lock to score their points, while both Taipan and Nathan Higginson will be picking up points for HME. APK SimSport on 1616 ahead of Kiwi SimSports on 1558. They have a fairly sizable margin to LLM Juniors Academy on 1220. Then the first of our Super 3 teams there, PVS Scotch Smugglers on 902 points, with of course Rhodey and Cracker. ASS underdeveloped squad find themselves on 898 ahead of WRT Blackshaws. Of course, Blackshaws, they only have a 1-car team, so fair effort for them to be there. Then we have PBF Academy Customer Racing on 750 with Tevez Shadow Racing on 734. So that's the update for all the drivers and team standings. And now all it is here, Snipes, is got about a minute and a half left in the warm-up, and then of course server will tick over and we'll be racing for the first time tonight here at Hidden Valley. We'll just take a short break so I can try and get as many of these coughs out of my system as I can, and for both of us to prepare ourselves for what is sure to be an entertaining night here from Hidden Valley Raceway. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back to round 6 of the ASR development series from Hidden Valley Raceway, where Noah Tara will have pole position for race number 1. And as those can see in the live chat, have been informed, of course, Noah Tara left his first pole in the development Super 2 series and championships that we've run. And he's been around for a few years as well. He's done a fair amount of races. Not the most consistent, obviously, due to university stuff, but still done a fair amount of racing. Bit of a surprise it's his first, but there we go.
Yeah, Tara's won races. I remember my first or possibly second season, can't remember exactly which, racing in Super 2. He won races. He's always definitely had plenty of talent. Tuz, you've done a pretty good job, mate.
Certainly a fairly handy racer. And see Russie in the chat trying to say something but didn't want to finish the sentence there. But we've got drivers now. I'll just go through it. Yeah, it looks like everybody is onto the grid. And hopefully no issues prevent us from, either broadcast crashing my computer or no drivers dropping out here in the formation lane. We're able to get underway. So Snipes, run us through the grid here for race number 1.
Yeah, Noah Tara with a lot of pace here tonight, starting out of pole position. Can he convert it to a race win? He will be lining up alongside Cheese, just next to me in fact. Excellent lap, pulling out a bit of pace late qualifying. Starting out on P3, we have Nathan Higginson, another Kiwi Sim Sports rep there with HME Lockie Lock out of P4 there for Luke McHugh Racing. Certainly very quick one to watch all night, no doubt. Out of P5, we've got Bailey Hall with a massive effort both all week and in qualifying to be P5. And P6, we have Steve Warwick there. I tell you what, he's definitely one to watch out for. It's going to be a very competitive top 6 there. Just behind him out of P7, Zach Brown. Good effort from him. He'll be wanting to move forward though. Darren Kemp out of P8. We want to watch defensively as always. Taipan out of P9 there. Good effort for Taipan to be in the top 10. And out of 10th, we've got Ayrton Felipe. In 11th, we have Phil Donny. Good effort from him there. Out of P12, we have the second of our Super 2 runners, Christian Shadow tonight. Out of P13, Justin Cecil for the LLM Juniors Academy. Out of P4, Matt Cecil. Probably be annoyed he's down to his brother there for this one. Out of P15, Brody for PBF Scott Smugglers. Out of P16, we've got Damo and the Kiwi Sim Sports Underdeveloped. P17, Darren Lockman. P18, we have Laszlo Teglis for Television Shadow Racing. P19, Luke Yeager. P20, Brian Walsh. P21, Melody Smith. And starting from the very back today is Brandon Dostal. Got there, Lewis. Got there.
Just got there in the end, but Noah Tara's in the pits.
Oh, hello.
Noah Tara is in the pits. I may have had a game crash here. I'm not sure if there'll be a restart or not, but we're away, and Cheese.
Higo got a great start.
Yeah, Higginson with the decent start. They're 3-4 wide. They're in the middle, and Higginson will take the lead.
Ooh.
See Kemp there, just a little bit wide.
Someone's looped it there. Someone's gone around. That might have been Kemp there.
Shadow is off as well in the background.
Packed file through. It's always manic at the start of the race, trying to keep your nose clean. At the start, it looks like Higginson and Cheese will work together for this one, try to pull away from the pack behind them, but the chasing pack is quick. Coming through this hairpin in turn 6, it's very narrow. You really don't want to be on the outside, ideally. Yes, Higginson, Cheese, Lock, Warwick, Hall, your top 5. So, pretty good effort. Zach Brown, Felipe, Taipan, Bill Donny, Rody, Matt Cecil, Darren Lockman, and then Darren Kemp all the way back in 13th. So yeah, not a good start for Darren there.
And Higginson sideways on the exit of the final corner. Dawson swerving down the little pit straight there to try and shake the toe.
He's going to go for it. It looks like
he's going to fire it in there. A little bit of contact.
Oh, he's locked it.
He is wide. Can he keep it off the green stuff? He can't, but he's able to not go too far off the circuit or loop it. So he's done a fair effort to not actually spin or end off way off in the boonies. So he'll hold on to second, gives Higginson a little bit of respite. It's also now brought Steve Warwick into play. As Lockie Lock tried to find a way past after Cheese went off the circuit. Now he's going to try the long way at the hairpin. You're not really going to get a move done there. So he's tucked back in underneath the rear wing with the F Commodore in front. And yeah, now a little bit of a train starting to form, I should say, behind Cheese.
Certainly, the top six broken away from the rest of the pack there with a few seconds back, nearly a couple of seconds from Zach Brown back to Edson Felipe and P7. So the top six start to run away from it. But
That's a massive smash!
Oh, no.
That is a massive smash! Taipan may be dead. Taipan may be dead after that one. That was an absolutely monumental smash. So we did see a similar accident last year with Dane Liccardo and I think Damon Woods, where one of them had ran wide and ended up, and there it is, a safety car has been called. Now it's going to be awkward for Taipan here. He might need to drive down the drag strip. I'm not sure if it'll count his lap.
Well, it already is, but that's landing that side of the drag strip is certainly something else.
It counted his lap. It counted his lap. So thankfully, if he can get to the end here, he'll be okay. Of course, he'll be down the back of the field, but he won't have a DQ. He was smart enough not to drive backwards there. So, Jesus, what an absolutely monumental smash. And, well, let's take a look at that. So it's going to take us a little while to get back to that replay here. So I saw it unfolding with Felipe running just a little bit wide and then losing the rear end here. And then, yeah, Taipan nowhere to go except for the rebounding Felipe. And that launched him across the track. And because he was already sort of half airborne, he then ended up mounting over the wall and rolling multiple times. Of course, the game with a little bit of lag there probably didn't show the true extent of the accident with it replacing or putting him on the other side of the wall there. But absolutely massive smash here. And get your F's in the chat, I reckon, here, lads, because
I think he's going to go a lap down, perhaps too. He's going to take. He's had to dawdle around the track here because he's got he's lost a front tire there. I think his front left is blown, so it's made his lap back to the pits incredibly slow. And the safety car's already out of turn 6, out of the hairpin. Now he's going to have to pit for 25-30 seconds, amazingly, to repair that damage. It's going to be tight.
Safety car looks like it's only doing about 80 kilometers per hour, and in the corners it's actually going quite slowly. So I think he'll get away with it. I think he might just get away with it. It should only be, he won't be taking fuel on board, so it might just be a 10-second pit stop. Can't remember, it's been so long since I've had an accident where I've actually had to repair damage to see how long it takes. But here we can see safety car coming out of the final corner. Taipan hopefully gets going. Of course, the pit lane speed limit 40 kilometers per. And
I think he's going to lose out here.
Yeah, he's going to be buried in the pack. So not ideal. He will go a lap down, but that's better than being DNF or DQ'd. So he'll be hoping actually for another safety car just to get the lucky dog here. And we've got Darren Lockman out of the race here. So
it's dropped, sadly.
It's going to drop to replay here. So for whatever reason, just taking it easy, just trying to save fuel. And yeah, I'm guessing we're just going to see him. Yep, there it goes, just stops and straight to the pit. So that looks like an internet disconnect, and that looks like Jaeger also exiting the pit lane there. So he's decided to put a fresh set of boots on, perhaps had a little bit of damage. He's come in to fix.
Not it's not a bad play. If you're at the back of the field, there's absolutely no harm in getting a fresh set of boots on.
And we've got a number, and drivers have been warned of this. We've got an accident behind the safety car, and it's not too severe, but Christian Alvarez and Melody Smith involved in that one, but Brandon Dostal was very close as well to running up the back. The car in front of him does have been warned to take it easy behind the safety car, but once again, not heated.
I feel the safety car is probably coming in this lap. Higo's giving it an awful lot of space here, which feels like he's letting it go so it can get into the pits, and then they can get this restart going. Let's hope that they don't trigger another one.
Yeah, safety car is in, and a number of drivers further down the field. They're going to be a fair way away here, with some gaps through. But yeah, hopefully the safety car restart here nice and clean. And Cheese right behind Higginson. He's waiting right until the start-finish line. Of course, these timing penalties will be sorted by one of the live admins. But to turn one we go. And Slipstream and Dive Bomb's not really making too much of an effect here.
Yeah, one of the better restarts I've seen out of the Super 2 field. Quite clean overall, single file into the first corner.
Matt Cecil sideways there. He's actually got himself up into 8th place. And Higginson's locked up. Higginson's locked up at turn 5. Cheese into the lead. Got Steve Warwick. I don't know if he got helped off or if he went off. As Higginson now dive bomb on the inside of the hairpin. But Cheese saw it coming back the door. And he'll have the inside for the next corner. So good racing between those guys for now. I do want to have a look and see what happened to Steve Warwick though. So did he just lock up? Yeah,
looks like a mistake there.
Just outbroke himself. So he's now behind Roadies in the top 10 as well. 2 Super 3 runners in the top 10. Bailey Hall, of course, in 4th place. Cheese a little bit wide on the exit. And a couple of runners there very close to that wall that we did see get absolutely obliterated. So Cheese now in the lead. Higginson second. Locke in third. Locke having a look here at Higginson. Higginson just moving over a little bit. That's awkward. Ooh. That is awkward for Lockie Locke. And I'm not sure he would have been too pleased with that one because it wasn't until deep into the braking zone that Higginson moved over. But the top 5 all covered by a blanket. Bit of a gap now to Phil Donny up into P6, but he's ran a little bit wide, and Warwick has recovered already to P6. So Steve Warwick, man on a mission, and with those guys up front battling, if he doesn't make another mistake, he'll be on the back of that in no time, as we've got Bailey Hall all over the back of Lockie Locke.
Yes, certainly. It is all on Bailey Hall now to being able to stretch his muscles a bit. He's had to practice. How much pressure can he put on someone who's very high up in the Super 2 Championship? Sticking with these guys is an achievement in itself, I think, in this league, especially when you're coming from Super 3. So he's certainly showing a clean pair of heels here, and he's applying the pressure. Will he look to go for a move into one here? He shapes to the inside. He's going to have momentum. Will he be able to outbrake him? It's pretty tight. Bit of a rear locking there for Lockie Locke, but he holds on to it, and he's going to hold on to the position for now at least. It's going to be a drag race up to 5, Lewis. Lockie Locke, no, he gets the run, holds position fine there.
But seeing the car in front of him just wiggle around a little bit will encourage him to keep pushing. And once again, another slight mistake, and Locke has to go defensive the next corner. So these guys now just dropping off the back of Nathan Higginson. Steve Warwick is coming. Phil Donny, though, big train behind him, and he's got Roadie putting him under pressure in 7th place. So Roadie having a really good run here, and we've got localised we've got a safety car. So I'm going to try and find what all that was about here. You can see some cars back here going slowly, so let's see if we can find it on the old replay. And
someone turned at the hairpin there, I think, Lewis.
Yeah, there's Laszlo,
that's
Teglas and Dostal here. So Dostal's got a little bit of lag there, and then Dostal's just driven into the back of Teglas, and because they've both stopped and going slowly, and then other cars have come onto the scene. That's of course triggered the safety car. So Bit of a rest for these guys now. But, gotta say, a bit of a surprising order. Cheese has got himself into the lead. He did set the fastest lap of the race, though, just before it obviously ticked over on the lap before. Got himself ahead of Higginson, who's looking comfortable. And then after that, we've got obviously Bailey Hall in Super 3 running in 4th. Zach Brown doing a good job in 5th. Got Steve Warwick covering. That safety car's what he won. Phil Donny, though, great effort from him in 7th, but he has to hold off a hard charging Rhodey in position 8. Matt Cecil, another one, up a number of spots. So Donny up 4, Rhodey up 7, Cecil up 5, Don Kemp down 2, and Damo, pardon me, up P4 here with Yaga, another one up P6. And he pitted under the safety car, so those fresh tyres doing him well. As once again, game crash, but thankfully under safety car.
Yeah. You're going to have time to crash. That's definitely the play. I'm just getting back into the server myself now, so I'll keep an eye on the proceedings. It'd definitely be good for Taipan. He got his free kick after he got unfortunately involved in that accident with Felipe there. He's going to get his lap back and be able to cruise back around to the back of the field, so certainly that's very good for him. He's rushing down the main straight right now. He's gone past the field, he's just past the safety car, and now he needs to step on it just in case the safety car decides to come in the next lap or so, but I feel he's going to at least be given 1 lap's worth of grace there. So I'd expect that we're going to have another couple of laps behind this safety car here. But yeah, you're certainly right. Cheese had started to pull away from Higginson there. Worked a bit of a gap. Whether that was Higginson making some mistakes or not, I'm not too sure. But certainly the battling behind between Locke and Bailey Hall was certainly helping those front two get away a bit more. It'll be interesting to see how they play it. Is it just going to be consistently a battle for those positions, or are they going to try and work together to see if they can keep with the front two guys here?
Yeah, it's certainly going to be an interesting play. Of course, lap 9. 14. So I'm going to have to rely now on live races to give me the lap by lap or how many laps to go data here. So I'll be a little bit behind, but I am jumping into the server right now. So there's also a safety car, of course, that Taipan needed. I believe he got the lucky dog. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Snipes. So he'll be able to get his lap back that he went down after having to repair his car after the fatality that he had coming out of the final corner. So here's a chance to get back into the game here as well.
Yeah, certainly. And currently he's at turn 5, whereas the back of the pack is going around the last corner at this point in time. So he's about half the lap behind. The safety car is going around for another lap, so yeah, he'll well and truly get that back. And now this is, well, it's not still ideal for him as he is at the back, but he'll be on fresher tyres than basically everyone in front of him, so he will still have a small edge. Will he be able to work his way from 20th towards a reasonable position? And the last 5 laps are on lap 9 as of this point.
It's certainly going to be interesting, those that did pit, to see how the whole tyre game plays out. I don't have any data on what the tyres are like to see. Obviously, they should last the 14 laps. Obviously, we've now had a couple of safety cars, so they'll definitely last, but you certainly won't have that grip that you had in the first couple of laps of the race. So if you are down the field, we've also had Fiddle D retire as well, so he was running well up, so that's happened while I was loading in. So I'm guessing a possible game crash there as well. So that elevates Rhodey up into P7 who he was battling. And those that are watching on can obviously see that the game now does have lesser quality textures, and hopefully now we'll be able to get through to the end without any more game crashes.
He's leaving safety car some space here. I'm not sure whether it's coming in. He's closed up a bit here. Whether it's coming in, I'm not too sure. Hopefully it does. But yes, he's certainly leaving a bit of room.
Yeah, so will we see the safety car duck in? No, we won't. So it's staying out once again here. And that is, I believe, this would be the 11th lap.
Yeah, I think he got caught out. I've heard him next door, just next to me, going, "Oh, I thought it was coming in that lap, but no, it is green this time around." So I've got some inside information from the racer to my left that it is green this time around. So we will get a restart just after this lap.
And of course, Saipan has caught the back of the queue. He'll be looking to try and get a few positions and get a better starting spot for race number 2. But before we go, Green might as well just run through the field. So Cheese leads the way ahead of Nathan Higginson and Lachlan Lock. Bailey Hall, first of the Super 3 runners, doing a great job there in P4. Zach Brown, another one doing a good job in P5, but he's got charging Steve Warwick behind him in 6th. Rhodey in 7th, good run from him. Matt Cecil in 8th. Darren Kemp 9th. Justin Cecil. Damo Gaga in 12th. Brian Marshall, solid run in P13 at the moment, ahead of Laszlo Teglas, who did make he got ran into by Brendan Nelson behind him. They cause a safety car we're going through now. Eton Philippe in 16th, another one needing that safety car to get back in the game. Melody Smith in 17th, ahead of Christian Shadow, and then Taipan in 19th with Phil Donny out of the race, unfortunately, as well as Noah Turra, who was meant to start from pole but dropped out.
Yeah, very unfortunate. Noah was looking like a hot favourite to take the win. We gear up towards the restart here. Who's going to get a better jump out at the front, guys? Will it be Higo? Will it be Cheese? Cheese has control of the field for, I think, the second time this season. So it'll be intriguing to see what he does. Does he wait to the line or does he go early?
Looks like he's waiting for the line here. That may be a directive from the race director, and he's been a little bit slow away here. It's going to be vulnerable. And Higginson's going to get him on the restart. Starts to crowd him over just a little bit. She's going to try and hold on around the outside. It's going to be a tough ask, but he's going to try it here.
He might do it.
He might do it. A little bit of contact on the exit. Lucky Lock's wide, and Steve Warwick is up into 3rd place, so he could find himself right there if these guys make contact here in 5. So Lucky Lock a poor run out of the turn 1, but Cheese manages to hold on because it's right out sideways on the exit of turn 5. Higginson having a look up the inside. Warwick going to try and follow him with big dive from Hall as well. Cheese going to hold on around the outside again, is he? Well, he's got the inside for the next corner, and Steve Warwick now going to try and follow through, and he's made contact. He's made contact as Warwick, and he's slowed down, and Higginson's lost it in front of the field. Higginson's blown it, and now that is he's made contact there. Brown had nowhere to go. And now Lucky Lock leads the race ahead of Bailey Hall and Cheese. It's Steve Warwick right there. This race has gone off. Matt Cecil's in P5. He's got Rhodey right there with Darren Kemp right behind. And Cheese now making the move on Hall.
Absolute disaster for Nathan Higginson. That's going to hurt his championship chances. He has gone all the way back to P17, almost dead last, really. Cheese up the inside. He's going to get it done, but he's going to... Oh, he's gone deep.
Wide.
And he's going to lose it again there, and he's going to lose it out to Warwick too. So, well,
and
it's gone
Cecil's
bad.
around. Matt Cecil's around as well. He's ran a little bit wide on the exit at turn 1. And, well, it's all happening at the moment. He was running fantastic P5 ahead of Kemp there.
Yeah, it's absolutely all kicked off as it's still on like Donkey Kong at the front. Bailey Hall is looking at a potential race win from Super 3 if he can get past Lachlan Lock, which is going to be no easy task, and he does have some very quick cars right behind him. Warwick right there. And Warwick's hit him! Warwick's hit him! And Cheese is involved too!
Gift. That is an absolute gift.
That's a free kick. That might be a safety car, but disaster. Absolute disaster.
So what is happening here? Right on board. Bailey Hall will have a look from the back. So Warwick right behind him. And just caught out. Is so close to Hall in behind. I'm going to try and find Steve Warwick here. Yeah, just caught out. So close behind. And that's it. That's the end of the race as well. So I do apologise for missing the end of that. But Lucky Lock will take the win. Darren Kemp somehow comes home in 2nd after all of that. Cheese in 3rd. Rhodey just missing out on a podium in 4th place. Justin Cecil in 5th. Damo in 6th. Jaeger 7th. Walsh in 8th. Okay.
Well done, Brian.
So we have to just make sure we've got this order here correct. So Lock first. Kemp Cheese, Rudy. What has happened to Bailey Hall here? We're going to have to go to a replay to apologise. Yeah, what has happened here? Oh, yeah, of course, he was involved in that contact. I didn't forget that it was the last lap. But, wowee, that is one of the craziest races I think we've had in the development series here, Snipes. That includes Super 2 over the years. That's absolutely bonkers what has just taken place. And Rhodey be spitting chips that Jesus had that better run out of the final corner. It looked like we're going to get one Super 3 driver on the podium in Bailey Hall, possibly even win the race. Obviously, that cruelly got taken away from him. But Rhodey stepped up and almost stole it as well until Cheese snatched it right at the death there. So, again, I'll run through the rest of the field, but what a finishing order this is going to be. So, Locke won the race ahead of Darren Kemp. Cheese in third, Rhodey fourth, Justin Cecil in P5, Damo P6, Luke Yeager P7, so great effort from those boys. Brian Walsh in 8th, top 10, he'll be happy with that. Ayrton Felipe in 9th, Teglas in 10th, Zach Brown 11th after that drama, Bailey Hall 12th as well, Christian Alvarez, aka Christian Shadow 13th, Melody Smith 14th, Steve Warwick an unfortunate 15th, he was the man to watch at the end there, but just a couple crucial errors dropped him down. Nathan Higginson, that error, he went from race winning position to 16th position in the end. Matt Cecil was running well until he dropped it at the exit of turn 1. And then we had Taipan with Brandon Dossel, Phil D, Darren Loughnane and Noah Tara, all non-finishers in that one. Well, what can you say about that, Snipes? Unbelievable.
Yeah, look, there is going to be some drivers spitting chips about that, whether it be at their own performance or an incident that they were just a passenger in. Let's say, there's there's going to be a lot of tales of woe and stories of what if there, because that absolutely blew up. A couple of misjudgments from some people, still some very good racing throughout though. But yeah, that was absolutely wild.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's also, I believe that's Lockie Locke's first victory, so Rossi in the chat's going to have to correct me if I'm wrong with that one. Maybe he's first or second. But still, I mean, you obviously had Noah Tara. It started at the start, where he was going to lead us away from pole position, look the goods from what we saw in qualifying and practice, and then to unfortunately get the whole way through the formation lap, got to the grid, everyone was formed up, and then obviously had his game crash or internet dropped while on the grid just before the start of the race. And then obviously wasn't too bad that first sort of couple laps, and then of course Cheese got himself into the lead. There was that early safety car, and with that fatality with Matt Cecil and Ayrton Felipe and Taipan. And then, well, that kicked off, obviously, more hard racing in that mid-pack. And then, yeah, that ending was absolutely unbelievable. So, what the hell's race 2 going to throw? We've got Nathan Higginson down the field. Hopefully we have Noah Tara able to, get through that next race, starting from the back of the field. And, and we've got Super 3 runners, got Rhodey going to start up there. We've got, obviously, Bailey Hall's been quick throughout the week. Steve Warwick's been quick, and they're starting down the field. So you're going to have guys well out of position and, a lot of positions to make up. But people aren't going to make it easy. We've also got Darren Kemp up there, who's certainly not going to make it easy.
Yeah, you know, Darren Kemp's not going to make it easy. I don't envy the steward's position after that. There's going to be a couple of angry people, but what a wild race. It's going to be hard to really top that, but I mean, the field is massively mixed up. Massively, you're right there. So there is certainly going to be some racing. We've got fast guys at the back. We've got some Super 3 runners right at the front. Big congrats to Lockie Locke on what has been confirmed as his first race win. So he'll be certainly feeling good about getting that monkey off your back. You take it however they come, and when all the guys around you just find a way to spin out or crash into each other, well, it can be quite amusing, but it still won't feel any less excellent. Well done to Lockie Locke there.
Yeah, certainly. look, you've got to put yourself in a position to, capitalize on other people's mistakes. Sometimes, you need one car to fall off. In his case, we needed, multiple. Um, but it doesn't matter. He put himself in that position. He was fast enough, didn't make mistakes, while others around him did, and picks up a well-deserved victory. And that's exactly what his championship needed. So, we'll have a quick squeeze actually of the standings. I'll see if they've been updated on the document here. So we'll have a quick squeeze at the moment. We are in the warm-up session at the moment. I'm not sure when it's going to tick over, but having a look at the Dev Series, has it been updated? No, it hasn't been updated just yet, but he was obviously 158 points behind Lockie Lock, but that will change. And with Higginson down the field, 100 points up for a race win. Yeah, he's going to claw back a good 50 or 60 points there, Snipes. So, championship heating up.
Yeah, no doubt. And I feel still some very, very good drives from a lot of those top runners. Massive, massive effort from a lot of the midfield runners to, it proves if you can keep it clean, you can get good results. Obviously, some safety cars help bunch up the field, but congrats again to the likes of Brian Walsh running in Super 3 there, getting himself a solid top 10. Probably because he just largely kept it on the track. He went around at his pace. He kept it within his limits, and people made mistakes, and he gained massively, along with many of the other midfield runners.
And that's all it takes, is just keeping your nose clean in these kinds of races. If you can just keep your nose, nice and straight, unbroken, like Ayrton Felipe and Taipans, or like Steve Warwick, or Bailey Halls. If you can just avoid that carnage, you can pick up some really good results in these kinds of fields. Obviously, you get a little bit further along in higher rungs of sim racing or motorsport. You do need that extra bit of pace, and you can't rely on just keeping it clean. But in these kinds of series, in these developmental series, you do find if you're able to just not make a mistake, you will pick up at least 2 or 3 positions. And in some cases, we saw guys picking up close to 10 positions from where they qualified. So, big lesson for a number of these runners, and they'll be looking to do it again in about 5 minutes' time. Do have 3 minutes left to go in the warm-up session, but of course there is the handover period where it does switch over, and the formation lap. Anyway, with that, we'll take a short break, but we will be back for race 2 in a few minutes' time. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back to Hidden Valley, where Snipes and I, as well as those that are watching along, have witnessed one of the craziest races we've had in ASR. Very mixed up finishing order with drama from, well, the formation lap onwards, really. In the end, Lockie Lock taking his first victory. Nathan Higginson, Steve Warwick, and a number of other key runners ending up down the field. I do have an updated spreadsheet with the points standings. We're just in the warm-up, about to tick over to the race, but we do have probably a minute or two just to go over the basic standings here. But Nathan Higginson, of course, did finish 16th in the end. He's on 14.28, but that championship lead that was over 150 is now down to 96. With Lucky Lock on 13.32. Cheese now into third in the standings. Of course, Ben Hall not here this evening. So he's on 11.46. 282 points behind. He did finish third. And he'll be looking good in this one if he doesn't make a mistake. We were talking, Snipes and I, off air. Those guys that did finish in sort of that top 5-6, he did look to be the quickest runner there. He did look a little bit quicker than Lock before all the... further drama kicked off. We do have we do have Darren Kemp now in fourth place ahead of Steve Warwick. 9.38 plays 9.14. Ben Hall drops to sixth place on 9.04. Taipan on 810. Justin Cecil still ahead of Matt Cecil. 7.76 plays 7.26. And Rhodey now into the top 10 in the standings after Phil Donny's DNF. An unfortunate game crash where he was looking to pick up a heap of points. But Rhodey now on 6.46 ahead of Luke Yeager's 6.28. Phil Donny on 6.08 with that DNF. And Felipe 5.74. Zach Brown on 5.58 with Phil Boak rounding out the top 15 on 5.24 ahead of Teglas, Darren Lachlan, Peter Thrower, Noah Turra on 4.02 and Brap in 20th. That'll be all for now, as we've got a race to run here, and we've got some fast guys here, Snipes, that will be starting deep within the field, and in Noah Turra's unfortunate case from the back after being the fastest in qualifying. So that's going to be one to look out for. Hopefully no more crashes or internet dramas with him. But we do have a formation lap. It is my turn, and Lockie Lock will lead the field away from pole position ahead of Darren Kemp. And it's going to be interesting for the cars behind. See if they can find a way by. Cheese will start from third place with Rhodey, the highest he's ever started in one of these races, in fourth place with Justin Cecil in P5. Damo will start in sixth ahead of teammate Luke Yeager. Good recovery from him after an early pit stop. And we have Brian Walsh again, his highest qualifying that I can remember in the development / Super 2 series, in 8th. Ian Felipe will start 9th ahead of Laszlo Teglas in 10th. Then we have Zach Brown in 11th. Bailey Hall in 12th. Those guys will be looking to pick their way forward, and I would expect them to find their way into the top 10 quite quickly. Christian Shadows, aka Christian Alvarez, will start 13th ahead of Melody Smith in 14th. Steve Warwick, we know he's got pace, just needs a little bit of luck here. He'll start 15th ahead of Nathan Higginson, who had the win but threw it all away. And then Matt Cecil, another one who's in a good position but dropped it on the exit of turn 1 late in that race. Taipan, after being murdered, well, it was more like manslaughter down there, the exit of the final corner. He'll start 18th. He was able to get a lap back up. Brandon Dostal in the pits, so hopefully his game not playing tricks. He's just starting from the pit lane. He's able to get out there. Phil Donny will start in 20th. Darren Lachlan in 21st with Noah Turra, probably the fastest driver in... Well, he is the fastest driver according to live races with all the times that have been set, and of course due to qualifying, but wasn't able to start due to internet issues / game crash. So here we go here, Snipes, and hopefully everyone's able to partake in this start, and Dostal's able to get out there. But lights are on. Away we go, and a good solid start by looks of it by Lockie Lock.
Yeah, certainly. G's got a good jump too. He's going to get on the inside of Darren Kemp early. Super important. He's actually in front of him. This is very, very important for Cheese. He holds that defensive line to make sure Darren Kemp does not go past him. Now, Darren Kemp will play a bit of a rear gunner for him. You'd expect, and we'll expect to see these front two battling it out to see if they can to force supremacy essentially as they try to pull away from the chasing pack behind there, and they've already got a little bit of a margin to Kemp there as they all fan out into turn 5.
Got some side-by-side action down there at turn 5. Got Felipe and Brown also side-by-side at 6. Got Steve Warwick looking to make his way through. Noah Torres already up a couple spots, but our front two, a little bit of a battle going already. We've also got a little bit of a gap over Darren Kemp as well. It might be smarter for them to just lay off battling for a lap or two and just build a little bit of gap to Darren Kemp behind, and then start battling, so they don't have to worry about the widest man in ASR.
Yeah, certainly you want to be just getting on with it, get your head down. If the guy in front of you is quick, then just work with him for a little bit. As we see, going back to the pack, Steve Warwick has made his way up many positions, and Nathan Higginson, as you can see here behind, ranging up. He's going to shape to the inside here. Will he be able to get him under brakes? He brakes much deeper. He's, in fact, might go into Ayrton. He's hit Ayrton. He's hit Ayrton there, so he's probably not going to really want to take that position there for save penalty, and he does let Ayrton go back by, but now he's going to be a little bit vulnerable to Warwick if Warwick can apply the pressure correctly. But no, Higginson goes defensive, very defensive, to stop Warwick being able to get by, but the danger is not over yet.
Oh, they're going 3 wide, a little bit of contact. Steve Warwick is sort of pinballed Higginson into Felipe, and Felipe goes around, and hopefully Felipe doesn't get himself a DQ, because he's going to spin back on the track, and that probably will be a DQ now.
That's going to be a safety car, you'd have to imagine, and there it is. Or is no, maybe not. I saw the flash.
No, there it is. No. It has come up. It has come up. I don't know if there's been another incident, but
there has. Oh no.
It's Jaeger that's gone around, but yeah, that was one of the worst free joins I've seen. We'll cut to a replay of what happened here with Jaeger. So, bit of a check up behind him, and it's just, he's had to slow down and check up, and it's forced him to just go around, and because he's stationary with other cars around him, it's triggered it. But, so go and find out. Well, let's have a look at this rejoin for starters. So, obviously, Steve Wright pinballed Higginson. Well, actually, he didn't really make too much contact, so it wasn't really a pinball, but just lit the rears up, went around. Oh, and he's just
lit them up again.
Yeah, lit it up on the grass, and I know he's going to say, you know, the rear wheel spun up, but you've got to take it easy when you're on the grass, and unfortunately for him, that's led to severe damage and unsafe rejoin. Dostal hasn't got out there, so game crash there for him as the spam bots are back. So that means I'm going to have to go off to YouTube chat, but that gives us a little bit of time once I sort out the old spam bots for me to sort out So, alright, let's run through the grid. So, Locke was able to lead away. Cheese is able to jump Darren Kemp off the start, which is vital for them, or for him. Justin Cecil able to jump up a spot. Zach Brown up 6 spots already. Brody down 2, but still in a solid P6. And Higginson, of course, was able to get ahead of that drama with some hard battling there from Steve Roke. Those guys up 9 and 7 spots in 7th and 8th. Bailey Hall up 3 into 9, so he's into the top 10. Damo just hanging on to 10th place there, down 4, but still a solid job at the moment for him. Christian Alvarez in 11th. Taipan up 6 spots to 12th. Noah Tara in 13th, up 9 spots. Still work to do, but light at the end of the tunnel for him if he can get a couple more here at the restart. Matt Cecil 14th. Brian Walsh 15th with Phil D in 16th. He's got some pace, so I think he to sort of move through the field as well. Melanie Smith in 17th. Aaron Lockman in 18th. Laszlo Teglas, of course, caught up in that incident down there, exit turn 6, and once again, drivers not paying attention. Thankfully, no contact this time by, but safety car going very slowly in turn 6, and drivers haven't figured that out yet, despite the 2 or 3 previous safety cars. But Yoga in 20th, of course, had that spin just at that final corner, and Filippi also did that drama just right there on the circuit. Of course, had to pit to fix that damage, with Dostal unable to take part with, I'm guessing, a internet drama or game crash.
Looks like we're getting a safety car for at least one more lap here as they all filter around. So yeah, certainly some people who have benefited from good starts and keeping the nose clean. None more notable than Noah Turra and Nathan Higginson, both up 9 spots from their start. Now that's only in a couple of racing laps, so there's certainly been some good racing, aggressive racing, but largely safe racing, I think, still through there to be able to push up that far without really much in the way of incidents. Possibly a bit aggressive from Higo down into the hair, but a bit of bump and grinding, but largely all is fair in love and war.
Yeah, nothing really untoward, at least what we've seen so far, but obviously, the further you get, the more difficult it will become. We've got Laszlo Teglas in the pits. I wonder if we'll see any others down the field. Take a gamble, putting some better boots on for the second half of the race.
Yeah, if you're at the back, there's certainly no harm in picking up a fresh set of softs. If you've got enough time to catch right back up and you're already there, then there is absolutely no harm in doing it. It's just going to give you a tyre advantage over the rest of the field, which is never not handy.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if we're going to go green at the end of this one. But, lap 5 at the moment with really only 1.5 laps, 2 laps of green flag running.
I suspect this is it here, Lewis. I suspect we are going to go green. Lockie Lock just leaving a bit of space to the safety car, at least in comparison to this final lap. We're about to find out though. Will it peel in? It does.
Yeah, so lights come out very, very late. Used to be in R Factor a lot of the time. It would actually come out quite early and you'd know it was coming in. But, Kemp leaving a bit of a gap, as is Rhodey here, and Damo a little bit further back. And Lockie Lock able to get the jump this time. And Steve Warwick already having a look at Higginson in the background. Teglas wasn't able to catch the back of the safety car queue. As we have a look at the long shot here into turn 1. Higginson going defensive with Hall having a little bit of a look, not quite close enough. And picking up a penalty, something there. But Lock leads the way ahead of Cheese and Kemp. They've also already built a gap because Kemp gave him a gap. And now we've got the Kemp train, Justin Cecil and Zach Brown right behind him. Also got Rhodey, he's got Nathan Higginson right behind him. Higginson having a bit of a dive there at the hairpin. Not quite close enough to make the move stick. But a big train here, the mega train starting to form up behind Darren Kemp here.
Tickets, please. We're away again. Here we go with the Kemp train. Filippi there actually got a 30-second drive-through after safety car for his rejoin there. So Filippi's to serve a drive-through in green flag conditions. But yes, we do see the top guys just starting to run away with it a little bit. Higginson will want to be putting pressure on Rhodey here. We want to get by him, but he knows that there's a couple of people to get by up in front before he's back into the position he wants to be. He shapes to the inside. He should be able to get this done alongside Rhodey there, provided he doesn't mess up his braking. He's gone a lot deeper than Rhodey, as we see Justin Cecil go a little bit wide, struggling under brakes, but he got the job done, and Steve Warwick's gone through as well.
Rhodey's got to look out. He's got Bailey Hall right behind him here, so he won't want to lose 3 positions in the space of a sector. And he's able to hold on for now. Still a very respectable position. And we've got Alvarez off the circuit. Noah Turra, he's made up a number of positions on this restart now, up into 11th, right behind the Rhodey queue. We've got Brown off on the infield. So I wonder if there was... he's done it, or if there was contact. Let's have a look at a quick squeeze at a replay. Oh, he's been nudged. He's been nudged by Justin Cecil. And straight to the back of the queue as well. So massive, massive pain there.
Yeah, very costly, very costly indeed. As we see the gap down to third and fourth is sizable already. Nathan Higginson now looking at the back of Darren Kemp. He's going to take a lap or two to close up. Cheese making a move for the move. He's deep. He might be too deep. He might be off. He's kept it on the black stuff. Only just, but boy, that was deep. He certainly sent it. Got to find that little bit of balance between the aggression and getting it right.
Almost did a nice double apex there, but of course Locke was in the way, so I had to open the steering there as Locke defensive into the hairpin, and we've got both of them wide. We've also got battling there, got Higginson and Warwick. We've also got Justin Cecil and Bailey Hall, who's jumped ahead of Rhodey. Got Noah Tara battling with Damo as well here. Damo got the inside. Tara going to try and hold on around the outside. That'll be a fair move if he pulls it off there. And he's
get it.
He's got it, but Damo thought for a second is going to mimic what Steve Warwick did in race 1, but he's just able to pull it up. Great move from Noah Tara, and now he can set his sights on the blue and black VE Commodore of Rhodey. And we've got that's Alvarez half spin in the background. In fact, no, he's gone around. No, that's Taipan that's gone around there. He may have another safety car here. Let's just. What has Taipan done? Has he dropped it on his own?
Yeah, unfortunately he has just lit it up. He's hit the curve. It's destabilized the car a little bit under acceleration and into the wall. He has gone. No safety car, it seems. The battle for the front can continue, and now they've got a reasonable gap. It's kind of safe to battle to try and find who actually is superior in race trim, as we see Nathan Higginson send one very deep and lose positions to dear.
A bit of a given him 2 nudges there, so a slight nudge there, and then he's just driven through him. So we may see some action in the stewards room after this, but a massive gap now. 4 seconds between our front 2 runners, Cheese and Locke, who are locked in a massive battle for the race win here.
Yeah, provided it stays clean, these fellas they're in the box seat to take it, no doubt about it. As long as there's no safety cars, you'd have to say even someone with a lot of outright pace is still going to struggle to pull in that gap with the few amount of laps we have remaining. Only 5 to go here. Short races, of course, in Super 2, and Cheese is all over the back of Locke right now. Will put a move into 5. No, he stays tucked in, maybe to line something up at the hairpin, but you know that the inside is king there. He does not get the run he needs anyway. Locke's still quite defensive anyway, though. Doesn't assume the racing line, leaves no space for any dive bomb there. Cheese now playing a slightly more ideal racing line, but he's lighting it up here, there, and everywhere.
He's had a good run. He's had a fantastic run through that right-hander. Too good of a run. He had nothing, couldn't do anything with it. So he's got to really set it up for turn 1, but he's definitely looking the faster of the 2. He just can't get it right at the right point. He's holding on here. He's either going to get a move done on Locke, or he's going to have a massive off by the looks of it. It's win it or bin it for Cheese.
Yeah, he's struggling in the traction zones, it seems. He's definitely got pace, and he could definitely get it down, but perhaps he's getting slightly excited just out into the traction zones. Tyres are worn now. They've raced a fair bit. They'll be under 50%.
Oh, contact! Contact between
contact.
Kemp and Higginson, and Bailey Hall straight into 3rd place. Thank you very much. Might just cut to a replay of that from Bailey Hall's point of view here. So, obviously, some defensive driving from Kemp. And Kemp's outbroke himself. Contact between the 2. Bailey Hall says thank you very much. And he's in 3rd place. Higginson has got by Kemp now, but not for 3rd place. He's just back up to 4th.
Yeah, when you overtake the guy that you've been working on and you don't actually gain a position, it's a bit of a bittersweet moment there. He'll be happy he's in front of Kemp and he'll know he can gap Kemp, but Hall is absolutely no slouch around here. So we see Brian Walsh at the back just sorting it out. Looks like he's had a troublesome first sector there. Possibly. No, he's just lost it himself there, Lewis. He's going to hit the fence.
Crash.
Yeah.
In real life, that would have been a write-off.
Oh, no doubt. Absolutely no doubt. Bailey Hall sits the fastest lap of the race.
And Noah Tara isn't really, last few laps, he's not made too much of a inroads, but he has just set the fastest lap of the race by a considerable margin. He's got Damo, Justin Cecil battling it
Oh.
out here.
Sorry, Lewis, we've got Cheese moved for the lead there up into 5. I think he's got it done. There was enough room, but now it's going to be all up for the inside. Lockie Lock's going to have the preferred line, and he's going to... he's
bumped
him there.
And
he's going to seed it, I think.
Well, maybe not. Or is he? There he is. So we'll cut to a replay. So obviously he's got the great run out of turn 1. Sent it here at turn 5. Turn 4, I can't remember. Turn 4, I mean.
Then five into the hairpin, you got it.
And then, there we go. There's a contact, and then he's going to redress, and just got in the way. But here we are again playing snakies down the straight, and that's Steve Warwick around at the last corner, unfortunately. What has happened here? Has he dropped that on his own? A number of drivers have struggled there, so he made slight contact. Yeah, so just no rear grip, no rear tyres.
Sorry, Lewis. I'll be a bit of a pain here. It's again all on at the front there.
Safety car. Safety car. When did that get called? Because I just cut to it. Because you have a couple cars off at the final corner, type band involved, and Locke the safety car might have been called when Locke had just taken the lead. It's going to be interesting, but. There you go. So, we'll cut to it here. We had, obviously, Steve White was still around. Melody Smith just went off on her own. And then Type Band had to take avoiding action there. And then 3 cars going slowly in the vicinity of each other. And we've got another safety car. And, of course, green-white checker Snipes. So, those that have... Those that have maybe done the old cheeky and only put in just enough for 14 laps, they might be in a little bit of strife here. I know we've had another safety car, but this safety car period will go probably 2 or 3 laps. It's still going to be tight.
Yeah, no doubt. You certainly want to be able to, let's say, have enough fuel to cover your bases. And I think someone put it in chat earlier on this evening that it's certainly a chance to get a safety car at the very end of the race, and we've seen it here. And obviously this is no longer now a 2-horse race for the race win. We've got Cheese now, obviously on the back of Lockie Lock, but we've got Bailey Hall and Nathan Higginson now that'll tuck right up to the back of this. It's going to be a 1-lap dash, so I tell you what, I think it's going to be super manic out of 1. The importance of this restart cannot be understated.
I'm just cycling through the cars here, just trying to listen to see who's saving fuel or has to save fuel and who isn't here. Some of these guys going through corners, so it's hard to say. It's not Steve Warwick. May still have a little bit of damage on his car. Not sure if he's pitted or not. Got Type N in the pits. And again, if you're one of these cars down the field, you have seen guys struggle at the last corner. If it doesn't go green straight away, I'd be whacking on a set of tyres. And, well, if you need the fuel, you put the fuel in. But those tyres will be quite an advantage here. So, safety car is staying out. Yeah, I would be pitting. If I'm one of these guys down the back here, obviously Felipe's lap down, Type Pan's just pitted, Brian Walsh, he's about to wobble himself off the track. But if I'm any of these guys down the back, instead of hauling my tyres, like those low tech class, I'm peeling into the pits, putting some new tyres on. You're going to have a big advantage, particularly in that last sector where you could pick up a position just because you've got better traction alone. And then, of course, you're going to be able to brake a lot better into turn 1, come out of turn 1 a lot better, come out of the hairpin a lot better.
Absolutely, a lot of waiting around the circuit for the tyres to grip up, especially without the luxury of actually having a setup to get the car to turn in a bit better. So a new set of rubber versus rubber here that's going to be, well, it's seen better days at this point in time. Yeah, it can find you seconds. It can find you seconds of pace over the people that are on the old rubber. So if you are right at the back, you are someone like Steve Warwick or something, and you hadn't pitted, pitting is a great plan. But obviously, it's starting to get to the point where it might be too late if you don't already. Lockie Lock's leaving the safety car a bit of room, so I suspect there is a chance that it's going to go in this one. we'll see by the last corner, I think, as to how close he is, because we're still maintaining this sort of gap, and I feel that we're going to go green.
Yeah, he's leaving a little bit of a gap to the safety car. Of course, you don't want to be too far back either. You can get penalised for that in game as well. But this is generally the gap we do see when the safety car does peel into the pits. We've had Bailey Hall DNF. So, not sure when that happened, but unfortunate for him, as the safety car does indeed peel in. So, again, more drama late on here. He was running in a very good position in third. That's a massive free kick for Nathan Higginson as we go racing for one final lap. And Higginson having a look up the inside of Cheese already. Gap to Kemp.
Oh, he doesn't actually get him. Sorry, I thought he got a slightly better run, but yes, they've gapped Kemp. It's on for the top three. Who can actually get it done here? I think Cheese certainly has the pace to be able to get a move done, but will he get the run required to get past Lock? He's going to run out of opportunities super quickly. We know that the inside's the way to go at the hairpin, so Lock should be taking that. Now, Cheese will go to the outside, but that may open him up to Brick from Hego if Hego's close enough, but he's not. They go slowly through there. Lock, all he has to do is keep it on circuit at this point in time. There is maybe one spot in the last corner where you can get up the inside, but it's a tough move to be able to make, and Cheese might be too far back. We're about to find out here, Lewis. It's all on still.
At one corner, of course, the drag to the start-finish line will count as well. You want to get a good exit. You won't want to slide at the final corner. As Higo does again, he's held it at the final corner, and Locke will take victory ahead of Cheese. Noatara will recover to third place. A great effort from him. Kemp fourth ahead of Justin Cecil and Damo. Rhodey in seventh will take the win in the Super 3 class, and 2 top 10s for him. Matt Cecil 8th, Zach Brown 9th, Luke Yeager in 10th, Darren Loughnane 2nd in class ahead of Laszlo Tegler. Steve Warwick recovering to 13th, Phil D in 14th, Christian Alvarez in 15th, Taipan 16th ahead of his teammate. Brian Walsh 17th, Melody Smith 19th. Higginson's already back to the pits. He finished 19th ahead of Felipe, who was a lap down with Hall and Dostal not finishing. So, wow, once again, late drama. And what was looking to be a pretty good recovery drive, Snipes, well, that's a massive disaster for Higginson and exactly what Locke needed for the championship.
It's a free kick for Lock. Higginson's going to be gutted. I sense that he will be very, very, very dejected out of this. Still a really good job for him just to wait. And it would have been punishing to watch the entire field drive by. But a good job to just accept it. It's done. Wait till everyone goes by and get himself across the finish line there.
So what Felipe was doing. They just gassed it up there. But there you go. That's what happens, I guess, when... Obviously, when you're at the front, you can't really pit late on there, and give up the track position. But that's just what happens, late into the race, and you've got no rear tyre. It looked like Cheese was going to be the one that was going to loop it, but he was able to save it, while Higginson, right as the car did start to straighten up, obviously a little bit too much of the loud pedal, and away he went to the inside of the track, and big dent in his championship standing lead is going to be eaten into.
Yeah, no doubt, and good for Cheese too in the championship battle with Higo, but unfortunately still coming second to Lockie Lock for him. But again, a massive congratulations to Lockie Lock. He's got his first tonight, and he's doubled it up with the second race. He was aggressive at the right points, but then he put his car defensively in good positions, especially in the last lap when the heat was certainly on. It's hard to put it in a good position and still maintain enough track speed to stay in front, but he did manage to pull it off, so well done again to Lockie Lock.
Yeah, 2 from 2. You might just be... I know you got to take it one race at a time, but he might be just thinking about getting the clean sweep, or I guess you could call it the Triple Crown here. So, got one more race to go. Cheese gave him a hell of a battle, but just couldn't quite hold on to the lead You did get ahead, of course, for about a lap or so, and then the safety car came out when he just lost the lead down there, turn one. So, yeah, it's great battling for those two. And once again, they've got a bit of a free kick, or actually, no, they got less of a free kick, but they still do have the front row lockout, but they are going to have to contend with Noah Tara this time round, which will make it very interesting.
Certainly should be a spicy start to race three. The top three are going to be on again, but Noah does have just the ultimate pace. He managed to set the fastest lap of the last race with the 106.1. Now, to put that into context, there, the fastest lap outside of that I can see in live timing was a 106.5. So that's. Oh, he's got 3.5 tenths over the next fastest lap there. If he can keep consistency, starting out of P3, he will be a real challenge for the lead, no doubt. He'll want a bit of redemption after qualifying on pole. I'm sure he'll be eyeing up a race win, and Lockie Lock will certainly be eyeing up his clean sweep. But Cheese also will be eyeing up a race win tonight. He's been agonisingly close in both races, and through sheer bad luck, a bunch of times he's been caught out, whether he's been bumped slightly off track or the safety car coming out right as he was up the inside of Lockie Lock into turn five. That's heartbreaking. Did well to cede the position and he kept the battles entertaining. But yeah, it's all on in the top three.
Yeah, it's going to be a very, very interesting race number three. And again, we're going to have some quick guys having to come through the field. Bailey Hall, who very promising in qualifying race one. Obviously, he was running well and had that late drama with Steve Work that dropped him down the field. And then, of course, again, running in a podium position in race number two. And then having, obviously, a game crash or internet issues. I'm going to say it was probably a game crash. Obviously, robbing him of a good result. So they're both going to have to start from the back. So we'll have action at the front. And, of course, got Darren Kemp up there as well. He's not going to make it easy for a number of runners. So action at the front, action in the middle, and action coming from the back of the field as well. So plenty to look out for in race number three, but we're going to go to a short break. And welcome back to the 2022 ASR Development Series from Hidden Valley. 2 races out of the 3 have been completed, and the championship picture has been, well, shaken. Some unforced errors from Nathan Higginson in both races has seen him finish in 16th and 19th position. With Lachlan Lott, his championship rival, taking wins in the first 2 races, or the 2 races so far, and Cheese with the 3rd and the 2nd, has meant that championship gap that was over 150 points is now 28. With Higginson on 1460, plays 1432, and Cheese now only 222 points away, and certainly spicing things up in the championship battle. And Darren Kemp even is not too far away with 1,018 points. But once again, we've got some fast guys at the back of the field, fast guys at the front, and then of course you've always got to keep an eye out for the Kemp train as the spam bots putting on a spam fest of course in the live chat. But I'm not sure if Snipes is back.
I'm here with you, Lewis. Don't you worry, mate.
And I did hear that you were getting a beer. I've got myself I've been very generous with the Canadian club that I've poured in this glass. So
this will be off the chain.
Yeah, hopefully hopefully the race is just as enjoyable as the drink. So cheers.
Yeah, I took a swig. We were right there with you. One more race to go tonight. It's been a hectic first couple. Massive championship implications throughout. Let's see what will happen. Nathan Higginson once again be fighting from the back to redeem something out of this evening. He started the week looking pretty average for pace, and then he found in qualifying with a good result, and unfortunately he's just, sorry Lewis, he's shit the bed a little bit this evening.
You can swear on this channel, that's okay. We're not as uptight as the mothership. So, it is fair to say he's completely shat the bed through his own real errors. I was saying it a bit earlier. So, he just needs to pick up some solid points in this one because, you pick up 300 points is the maximum you can get from a round, and he was on 150. So, he was pretty much, a win and a half ahead, and now it's nothing. It's a couple positions. So, there you go. Anyway, the formation lap about to get underway, Snipes. You're going straight under the bus, mate. Roll us through it.
Yeah, banging. Excellent. Just quickly run to grab a beer. So off memory, we've got Lockie Lock out of pole position. A good effort there. He's won 2 races from 2.
Hold up. We've got a drama.
What is this?
I don't know what the hell's happened here, but we've got Melody Smith, Ayrton Felipe, and Bailey Hall have come together here. So Melody Smith has taken off and almost ran into the back there of Taipan. And there's been a check-up, and Felipe's driven straight into the back of...
Well, I don't think I've ever seen that before, Lewis.
Well,
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
There's definitely going to be some penalties from that one. I know you don't want to roll through the grid, so I'll quickly roll through it and give yourself a chance to have a couple more swigs. So, of course, Cheese will start on the front row. Tara will start in 3rd. Great opportunity from him, or for him, with Darren Kemp in 4th, Cecil Justin in 5th, Damo in P6, Rhodey P7 again, Matt Cecil in P8, Zach Brown P9, with Luke Yeager in 10th, Darren Lochner in 11th, Laszlo Teglas 12th, Steve Warwick will start 13th, but again expect him to fight his way through the field. Phil D, another one slightly out of position, expect him to move forward. He'll start 14th ahead of Christian Alvarez. Type Band will start in 16th with Brian Walsh in 17th. Melody Smith, one of the cars involved in that drama, she'll start in 18th ahead of Nathan Higginson in 19th. Felipe will start 20th but may find himself with a penalty for that. And Bailey Hall well, unfortunately for him, start 21st. We're expecting him to come through the field with Brendan Dostal, hopefully able to make this one, and hopefully, touch wood, everybody is able to not have a game crash or internet dramas, and everyone is able to take part in this one, right as the drivers start to form up onto the grid.
Absolutely, we're basically ready to go here. We're about to tick over. You'll see Lockie Lock blink. That will be your signal that we are ready to fire for the race. Here we go, up the front row. Lockie Lock's done his blink. We're good to go. The lights are on. The revs rise. Who's going to get a bit of jump here? It's certainly important. The lights are out. Cheese with a good start there. Really good start.
We've had a smash. It's Phil Donny.
Safety car.
Already. It's not... Words escape me right now. What the hell happened there? So we'll cut to a replay. So Teglas was one of the drivers that were out of position on the grid. Oh, he stalled it. He stalled it. Didn't go anywhere. And Phil had nowhere to go. So unbelievable scenes, Jeff. Here at Hidden Valley. Unbelievable. It's a circuit that I thought we'd get through, one of the rounds where we'd have races where we wouldn't have safety cars. We've had one in every single race. And we've had one, well, we didn't even get 50 metres past the start line.
Certainly a special talent to be able to pull out a safety car before anyone's at turn one. Yeah, look, Phil, with reasonable reaction, honestly, to try and get himself around. It was Teglas there, but unfortunately just not quite enough. A little bit of clip on the side and lit it up and went around, and unfortunately that's all you need. Two cars stopped on track, and we have a safety car for the next couple of laps here. Unfortunate for Cheese again, because he had got what appeared to be a magnificent start there alongside Locke. Whether he would have been able to do anything with it, well, I'm really not too sure about that, but the start was certainly hot, and it could have been an opportunity to take an early lead.
Yeah, so just going to cut. We'll go all the way back. We've got plenty of time to go through a replay or two here. So right on board Cheese. Yeah, great initial jump. Accident in the background, and then it was a drag down into turn one. The safety car would have been called, and then drivers just starting to back off their positions. But again, we'll keep this long shot here if we can, and then just have a play of the start, and we'll get a fair idea of what happened on the run. So there we go. There's Donny around. There's a lot of the cars. I think it was Teglas and Dostal did a good job to avoid Donny and Teglas there.
Yeah, certainly a good job from a few of those drivers to avoid that. I do think Donny did a really, really good job. Let's see what happened with Teglas.
So when the game moved him, it may have... Yeah, I don't know, maybe his clutch was stuck on or something, I don't know, but...
See if I can quickly snoop around. He tends to stream his racing, so I'll see if I can quickly watch if he is streaming what he did and give you a bit of an idea there, Lewis.
Yeah, so interesting. I believe that was his engine that was revving, so that would indicate that he didn't stall, it just didn't go anywhere. So I don't know, maybe there was lag on his part when lights went out and he's just still standing there waiting for the lights to go on his end, or maybe his clutch stuck on, who knows. But he went nowhere, and unfortunately we're starting this race under the safety car. We've already had an accident, at the start of the formation lap. And, now here we are under safety car conditions because we start at the start. Because of an accident.
What's happened? I've got you, Lewis. I've got you right here. The latest news coming right at you here at ASR Dev Series. Well, when it's reset him, he's been in gear and it's put him into neutral, and he hasn't quite noticed that it's put him into neutral. So he's dropped the clutch as normal. He's got the revs up, but he's gone nowhere because he is in neutral, and unfortunately not quite quick enough to be able to react and figure out what's happened before the safety car was called.
Now that has happened a number of times. That's happened to a number of drivers. I'm not sure if he's one of those ones, but this is why. Again, this is why us, the admin team, not so much us here in the commentary box, but the admin team have been putting warnings out to drivers in the past, and there's protocols in place that if you do miss the start and the game does move your car in the grid spot and well, first off, it holds up the whole start procedure, but then this stuff can happen. And this is why we urge for people to pay attention to when they're in the grid box. It does give you text in the bottom right hand corner of the game saying if you're out or not, unless you go into your PLR file and edit it so you don't receive text chat. Or I think you can change in the menu as well, but of course probably not the best idea because it won't tell you when the safety car peels in either. So yeah, not ideal. But hopefully we should get running at the end of this lap.
I'd expect it to be at the end of this lap, but yes, the dead giveaway is going to be just how much space we see Lachlan Locke give the safety car towards the end part of the circuit. You know that he's going to want to give the safety car a bit of space so that it can get enough time to get in through that pit lane before the race commences, and he's starting to give it a bit of space here, but it does slow down quite horrifically around a couple of these corners, sadly. Safety car driver not quite sure how to drive around the circuit, but he's learning. We'll get him there eventually, perhaps, maybe not. But Lockie Locke's still holding a bit of a gap there to the safety car, so I suspect, I'm hoping, that this will be it.
Yeah, the telltale sign will be at the exit of this next left hand. If he does close up a little bit, would expect the safety car to stay out, but yeah, he has left again a bit of a gap, which we did see in the previous race. It's about the same size, so looks like we are going to go racing here. And well, will we see some large gaps like we saw? Yep, safety car's in. Will we see some large gaps? And yeah, I can already see one. A little bit there in the background between Zach Brown and Jaeger. And Kemp's left a bit of a gap to the cars in front, and Damo as well to Kemp in front. So here we go. The restart is on, and looks like a fairly even restart here, but Cheese already looking to make a move.
He might have got a reasonable one, but I don't think he's going to be close enough. Not enough slipstream benefit into one. Now, we're going to see these top three really put on a battle as they've already got quite a sizable lead to Kemp. Kemp really struggling to be in the right spot at the safety car restarts, basically every single one, as we see them pull away. Already, actually, Locke's starting to gap Cheese, perhaps. Cheese feeling the pressure from Taro, who's diving down the inside into 5. Cheese slams that door shut, says, no, you don't, thank you very much, and assumes the defensive position. This is going to cost them time. But Noah really wants to get past here, wants to get into second position. They light it up, both of them, but Noah lights it up more. Cheese retains position.
Yes, I thought for a moment we're going to see Tara spin into the side of Cheese there, but they're able to hold it. But those guys battling has given a little bit of breathing room to Lucky Luck. I wonder if we'll see those guys just cool the battle for a lap or two, just to try and get Locke under some pressure. But already big gap. Darren Kemp, and Damo's had a reasonable restart here, right behind Darren Kemp, and Matt Cecil's also there as well. So these guys battling for a very good position. So we've got cars down the back there, 3-4 wide. And a big dive from Zach Brown. He's going to try and go 2 for 1 here on Justin Cecil and Rody. And yeah, he might do it. Rody's going to try and hold on around the outside. Got 3 wide, Dostal, Donny and Bailey there. Touring car action, British touring car action there. On through turn 1, back at the front, and well, some more banging. They've got Cheeses right up behind Lockie Lock, so hit a good first sector, and that gap closed right up. And again, we're going to see some good action here. It looks like Steve Warwick's dropped down the field here. What's happened to Steve? So he's gone for a move, and well, Brody's left him space, but a little bit too ambitious there. Steve, he's had some real rotten luck here tonight.
Yeah, it's certainly not been his evening. As Steve Warwick been involved in a couple of accidents, made some mistakes there. We see Nathan Higginson down. He's moved up to 12th as we continue watching this battle at the front. I tell you, it's going to be on between these two. You know that Cheese has got some pace if he can just get the lap right, and we certainly know Notaro's fast. Oh.
And well, this Damo, I believe this is the highest he's ever been.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is there, Lewis. Good position for him.
And if he can just nail the next sort of half lap, he should be able to have Kemp sort of do all the hard work for him and sort of block the faster cars in behind. Cecil having a look, Kemp going defensive, and Zach Brown there as well. So Damo can keep it clean here. He's giving it a really good chance of a P4 here. Of course, we do still have Nathan Higginson and some other fast guys in behind that could still catch him, but with 7 laps to go, there's not too much time for that to happen, and still plenty of cars in between them as well. As Zach Brown all out of shape, and I think he may be in a little bit of contact with Matt Cecil that saved the day for him there, and they're all able to live to fight another day. Fastest lap of the race, Noah Tara, and we've got Cheese having a look at Lockie Lock right behind him. A little bit of contact on that rear bumper possibly there, but these front three pulling away from the rest of the field, but they're separated by absolutely nothing.
Yeah, certainly quick up here. Cheese shaping for a move. He gets the room from the inside. Lockie Lock kind of gave it to him, but he doesn't get a favourable run off the corner. And he'll be stuck around the outside. In fact, he won't even get that advantage to be around the outside as Tara looks up his inside now and out in and out of the hairpin. But he's going to again have the inside into turn 7 here, and he bit bumpy and grindy, but he maintains it.
That is touring car action right there. That's something you'd see in Super Touring and the Touring Car Championship in the 90s there. And these three very, very close together. And it looks like Damo there about a second ahead of Kemp as well. So he's looking the goods if he doesn't make a mistake. As Noah Toe, decent exit off the final corner. He'd get a decent toe, but Cheese would get just enough of a toe to hold on, I'd imagine, into turn number 1 here. And
it'd be a supreme effort on the brakes from Tara to be able to pull that up, and they fold into line. Lockie Lock hugging the inside apex there of turn 1, which is not going to be the quickest way around there, but it is going to prevent people from getting up your inside, which is all he really looks at doing, but it's compressing them consistently.
And it was a little bit wide there, and Cheese looking to get the better run. But again, he's got nowhere to go. Tara's going to send it up the inside this time. I think he's going to pull it off. And he does, and he's right on the bumper of Lockie Lock as well. So maybe Cheese can use Tara as a bit of a pick and find his way in front of him here. But
yes, certainly.
His front three very, very close together. Damo's just falling into the clutches of Kemp as Brown and Matt Cecil battle it out. Higginson up into 8th now. He's got himself ahead of Justin Cecil as Brown gets by Matt Cecil and sets his sights on Darren Kemp. And a little bit further back, Justin Cecil on. Roby still holding on to a top 10 ahead of Jaeger and Bailey Hall, who's now up into 12th place. Lockman in 13th. And Dostal 14th. Shadow in 15th. Alvarez, Phil D 16th. Steve Warwick was recovered to 17th. Felipe 18th. Type Bear 19th. Smith 20th. And Walsh 21st with Teglas rounding out the field. And the front three still duking it out. Slight lock up for Lock. But he's had to get a wriggle on here because he's got the fastest driver, at least from this weekend, right behind him.
Yeah, well now it's he's had Cheese behind him for a lot of this, but now yes, it is Noah Tara. It's a different box of rocks. He has been lightning throughout the practice week and the evening. A pity about his first lap. His first lap DC out of race 1, though, or else he would have been up here a lot more. You'd have to fancy, but Lock's going to have to really sustain a bit of pressure here. He's going to have to weather a storm as they both, Lockie Lock locks up a little bit into the last corners, but compromises run slightly, and Noah Tara's going to get himself quite a nice toe here. It could actually, it's probably not going to be on unless Tara is going to be very, very brave and brakes. Lockie Lock shakes towards the middle. Tara shakes on the inside. He's going indeed. Is he gone too deep? No, I think he's going to pull it up.
And that's a beautiful move. That is textbook. That is textbook block pass right there. Deep under brakes, but he's able to just park it right on the racing line. Lock couldn't do anything about it. And I think if he doesn't make a mistake here, it could be sayonara for Lockie Lock here and the Triple Crown. He's still within striking distance, but he needs to strike while the iron is hot.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's got the pressure of Cheese behind him, who will be sick of the sight of that Luke McHugh racing Commodore. He's been looking at the back of it for most of this evening. Every time he gets past, he gets caught out by something. But Nathan Higginson, as we see here, up 13 spots, and now he's ranged onto the back of Darren Kemp. He might be the only person who can now challenge also Damo for that 4th position. Darren Kemp doesn't quite look like he's got the pace, and we know Darren Kemp likes to be defensive. Can Higo get a good run? No, he's slid out the back end there, so he's going to struggle to challenge into turn 1 without something pretty excellent happening.
Also got Bailey Hall into the lead in the Super 3 class, so he's up into 10th place. Rhodey's dropped down to 12th. But still been a very good weekend for Rhodey. And actually looks like a bit of a move there. Yep, dive from Hall, very, very wide, limited contact, but not able to make the move stick, but he's actually got a decent exit here, giving Justin Cecil a big hurry up. He's going to have a look for a move here at turn 4, but not quite close enough. A little bit further ahead though. And Nathan Higginson getting the move done there on Darren Kemp. And into 5th place. Just have a look at the replay on that one here. So just skip ahead, all over the back of him. And Kemp couldn't do anything about it. Tuckman tried to follow him through, but not quite close enough.
Yeah, Kemp certainly tried his absolute darndest to shut the door, but unfortunately Higo was already full car through there, could not close it down in time. Higo with a good move, and now he's going to threaten his teammate for that 4th position there. Damo, who's worked very, very hard for this. Let's see if he battles. We are running out of laps.
And that is smart from well, actually he's slowing down here. I don't know what's going on.
I think he's let him by.
He's let him go. I don't know what he's doing there. I thought he was just playing the smart game by just getting straight out of the way and not giving Higginson any slipstream there. But there you go. That's personally, I don't like to see that. I would have liked to see him fight it. But obviously, he's very happy with P5, and he doesn't want to jeopardise battling and losing himself any time.
Well, of course there, Lewis, but I'm sure you'll agree there. He's lost himself a lot of time by doing that, by letting Higo by when Higo wasn't right yet on him there. So he's lost himself seconds and seconds, and because of that, now he's lost another position too, Darren Kemp, who was right there to take advantage.
So just having a look here, late dive, and a little bit of a move on the brakes there. He was, Kemp did get the move done, so might just get away with it, but that Damo. But I don't think Kemp will be too pleased with that. Oh, a bit of contact with Brown and Damo there. That compromised Damo, who was quite slow, it has to be said, coming into that final corner. But he was trying to set up a move on Kemp, but that's ended that. But Matt Cecil and Bailey Hall battling out for 8th places. Brown looks to make a move as Matt Cecil deep under brakes, holds on around the outside for now, but he can't quite get the nose in. And a little bit of contact on the exit. They're going to go side by side through turns 2 and 3 and through turns 4 as well.
Yeah, last lap shenanigans right here. We are on the final lap of the race. Oh no! And disaster! Disaster for Damo.
I think Brown has dumped Damo there. Oh, he has. That's pretty piss poor, if I'm being honest. The move was never on there. And he's just outbroke himself and spun him around. But at the front, Noah Turret got himself in the lead. Locke tried his best, but wasn't quite able to get the job done. Tara finally gets that win. After fighting his way through the field twice. Still a very good weekend for Lockie Lock in second. 2 wins and a second. Cheese in third. 2 thirds and a second. Good night from him. Higginson recovering to 4th, but again losing points to Lockie Lock. Kemp home in 5th. Bailey Hall, after all of that, coming home in 6th place ahead of the 2 Cecils. This time Matt getting over on Justin. Damo, who was running in a very, very good position with, I think he called it correctly. Letting Higginson go didn't cost him too much time, and it cost him a couple of more positions with that contact with Brown. So he finishes in 9th, but Jaeger in 10th. Brown home in 11th. Rhodey home in 12th. Still a good effort from him, and I believe, as I go cycle through him, second in class. with Mr. Alvarez home in third place in class, but 13th overall. That's going on there, so I better have a look at a replay. Yeah, there's two cars parked on the track, and Alvarez just drove in the back of it because there's nowhere to go. Warwick home in 14th. He'll be disappointed. He had really good pace, but just made some crucial errors which dropped him down the field. Field D. He had some bad luck tonight as well with I think a game crash in race 1 or 2, and then of course the race start shenanigans there with nowhere to go. Felipe home in 16th, Lockman in 17th. He was running in as high as 12th or 13th there and second in class, so he dropped back there as well. Dostal home in 18th, Taipan in 19th, Brian Walsh in 20th ahead of Melody Smith and Laszlo Teglas rounding out the field. Well, Snipes, that has been a very entertaining and crazy night of racing.
Yeah, certainly. Up and down the field, wildness, safety cars, plenty of them. Safety cars for days out of tonight. And overall, still very, very entertaining racing throughout the field. But yeah, you've got to certainly feel for some of these drivers where it may not have gone their way, but likes of Lockie Lock really capitalising tonight on the mistakes of others, getting himself in great positions, coming first in a couple of races, and honestly, a really, really good effort from him. I think Cheese was really commendable tonight, and also Noah Tura coming from the back in race 2 to finish third and then win race 3 was very, very, very good job. Really capitalised on his pace. Again, it's such a pity about his DC before it all got underway.
Certainly was, but a big shame for him. But it certainly set up a fantastic night of racing for the rest of the field there. Battles for the lead in every single race. With Lock and Lock coming out on top in 2 of them. Noah Tura getting over the line there in race number 3. Lock didn't make it easy for him. Did keep him under pressure, but didn't quite have that outright speed. But it was drama from the formation lap, or the gridding up of race number 1 all the way through to the third race there. Safety cars in each, with incidents in each, which, well, pretty much all the ones that caused a safety car were all incidental. They weren't, outside of maybe one of them, were reckless. Most of them were just, innocent accidents with the driver making a mistake and other drivers with nowhere to go. But some fantastic racing. But at the moment, looks like drivers getting a little bit of a spray there down below. So we'll have to just stall for a little bit here. Just going to see, standings haven't been updated for race 18, the third race from Hidden Valley, where Noah Tura able to claim the victory. So with that, we'll actually take just a short sort of minute or two, couple minute break while all that is going on. But we will be back with driver interviews. Don't go anywhere. Alright, and welcome back. Of course, now time for the driver interviews, where, of course, Snipes will take care of the interviews. But, of course, we do have for the interviews, we do have Bailey Hall do you have Rody, Cheese, Lockie Lock, and Noah Tara? So, Snipes, lead us away.
Yeah, cool. We're going to start today with Rhodey. Now, Rhodey, devastatingly close almost, I'd say it would be the word to put it, to the podium. But still, you can't be too upset with that. Leading the Super 3 field tonight with three fantastic results, finishing obviously fourth, I think it was seventh, and fifth there, I believe. How was your night?
I was pretty good. I don't think it was fifth in race three, but no, that was. Look, nearly everybody was racing tonight had gone from the practice everyone set some times, and it set some expectations for where we're going to be on pace. And you know what, pace-wise, I think most Super 3 lived up to where we sort of pegged them to be. Race one, I nearly got a podium overall, and it was funny because not like last week, Dane was saying, "Oh yeah, I want to see Brody get an overall win in a Super 3 car," and it's only 3 spots off of it. But no, to still be I'm happy from my point of view that I almost got a podium, and yeah, that's a good haul of points. But that's as an admin and as a fan of competition, that's more of a sign of how many people got into trouble in the first race, rather than because I did any good, because I have no rights to be that high up the grid. So. I think Higo lost out from that. Bailey lost out from that. Cheese really lost out. I nearly passed Cheese for the podium in the end. A lot of guys lost out in that first race. As we saw in race 2 and 3, everything started to get back to where it should have been. Race 2, look, it was sort of just, to borrow a phrase I've used too much in the past month, it was a bit of parking the bus, but at the same time, I'm not racing for actual points. Well, I am, but I'm not really racing in the Super 2 guys. So there's no sense, running them really hard for position. I just, check them up for a few laps, just, give them a chance to actually have a legit pass at me rather than just having a yeet send and hoping it doesn't kill them. That said, I think race 3, Higo went for a 3 wide move at turn 1, which I thought was pretty ballsy. And then race 3, yeah, just again more of the same, just surviving. You know what? It was a good haul of points. I feel sad for Bailey that he didn't get a chance to actually consolidate on his pace in the first race, because he was threatening for a win there. And then unfortunately got drunked out of it pretty early in race 2 with a disconnect. But still had a good crack in race 3. Got past me and took off in the distance, and I saw that one coming. And look, shame for Darren as well. Darren and I were sort of tied into points off our own math, including drop rounds coming into tonight, because he's a round off and I haven't. But Darren picked up a disconnect at some point, and hasn't quite gone his way. But as I said to Darren, this only halfway through the season, a lot could happen from here. But overall, pretty happy with how the night went.
Yeah, that's good. That's good for you. I thought you raced really quite well, Rhodey, and you do have now. Yes, obviously, without really taking into consideration the drop rounds as of yet, you do have a reasonable lead over the rest of the Super 2 field. A couple of 100 points, almost thereabouts. Are you feeling reasonably safe, or do you think it's still all on like Donkey Kong?
It's 100% all on. I mean, Darren's had good pace over me in all but a couple of rounds so far this year, and all it takes is, Crack to make a few more regular appearances or Mike to come back, and I'm in trouble, because Mike had head and shoulders over the rest of us pretty comfortably. So, look, I've got an advantage, but by no means is it a guaranteed certainty yet.
Oh, hey, thank you very much, Benjamin Rhodey Rhodes. A very, very good effort tonight. Well done.
Cheers, Snipes.
Cool. And we're going to move over to our other Super 3 combatant tonight. Well, you're in Super 3, but arguably you shouldn't be. Bailey Hall didn't really go your way in a lot of ways tonight, and unfortunately your results did not reflect your overall pace, I feel. But how are you feeling after it?
Yeah, g'day Snipes, Lewis. Yeah, thanks for the broadcast. A night of you wouldn't really want to remember until that last race. It wasn't what I really wanted coming into the round. As Brody said, heading into that race 1, it was all about keeping it, nice and cool and trying to move forward on those spots, and that's what I was able to do, dodging crashes and put myself in the box seat to potentially win that one. And unfortunately, it all went wrong in those last few corners. And look, as I said when it happened, there's 2 more races to make up for it and try and get myself back up there again, which I was doing in race number 2, and unfortunately, just a game crash caused me to be unstuck, and that was my night over and done for race number 2. So we won't really touch on that one. But race number 3 was a really good one. Starting out at P21, way back in the field. Pretty much just pushed the car as hard as I could. Those tyres, they wouldn't have much left in them if there was anything, because it was full speed ahead. And I was able to push the way through to 6, which was really, really happy with that. Would have been nice to, get a top 5, made the night somewhat better by getting the top 5 overall. But look, I'll take a Super 3 win at the end of the night, and we'll look forward to the next round and see what we can come up with.
Yeah, no doubt. I thought it was certainly an excellent effort. You put in a lot of practice throughout the week, I noticed. What were your expectations kind of coming into the round?
Yeah, I was lucky enough to set up my new rig over the past week, so I've kind of getting myself comfortable to it, and I feel like I have got myself now comfortable to the point where I can keep putting results together. But yeah, just jumping in. I think I did about 450 laps over the week, just getting myself comfortable. As I said, if I wanted the top 10 for the 3 races, would have been nice overall. That was my goal going into the night. Obviously 12 a DNF and a 6. So let's skip the first 2 races and let's count the top 10 in the last race, and we'll be all beers.
Yeah, no, fantastic effort tonight, Bailey. You're racing up with the front guys there for, quite a while there, and I thought that was, quite scary, honestly, for a Super 3 driver. Very, very good job tonight. You show a lot of promise, mate.
Yeah, cheers, Snipes and Lewis, for putting on the broadcast. It'll be great to go back and watch that one a bit later on.
Well, thank you very much, Bailey. We are now going to move over to Noah Tara. Noah, this is it's probably quite bittersweet for you, I'd imagine. You had the pace all week. You were setting absolute stonking laps. You were so confident in your qualifying that you parked it up with minutes to go. I'm probably quite sure, I'd imagine, you got that pole position. What happened into race 1?
I'm not too sure. A bit of a game issue. Everything just started flickering, and it had really low FPS, so I thought I may as well park it. I didn't want to crash into anyone turn 1. And yeah, I just waited out race 1 and then jumped in at the back for race 2.
Yeah, cool. All right. So you've probably, I imagine that was rather disappointing after an excellent qualifying effort. Firstly, big ups for deciding to pull the pin, even though you probably could have raced there in that case. Big ups to doing that, for looking out for all the other drivers. But set yourself to race 2. You're at the back of the field. You know that you are one of, if not the fastest driver on the circuit. What's your mindset?
I was just really frustrated. So I just put my head down and just got into a groove, and it was probably making a few reckless dives, but they all came off pretty well. And yeah, just lapped, and unlucky for Higo, but he spun on the last corner, and I managed to get a podium, so that was very surprising, like 19 positions in 14 laps, so that was a very surprising one.
Certainly a good effort. Then, of course, you get to the last race, you start out of P3. I'm sure you know it's going to be a tight tussle at the top there, and you're starting behind Lockie, Lock and Cheese. Was the plan patience? What was the plan?
I knew I had some speed, but I wasn't quite sure how everyone else was going up the front in the race, so I thought I'd just wait a bit and just lap behind them until I saw a pretty good opportunity. I thought I wasn't going to pull the one on Lockie up though. That was a bit rough. And yeah, I was just lapping behind Cheese for a while, and then went for a bit of a move, and had a few pokes here and there throughout.
Yeah, you sure did. You got the lead, and in commentary, once you'd got the lead and you'd maintained it from the fight back from Lockie Lock. We called it. We thought it was race over with only a few laps to go. Were you feeling comfortable then, or did you still think it was a bit all on?
I just wanted to calm myself down a bit, drive at like 95% to make sure I didn't bottle it, because there's a few places where the car can be a bit sketchy. So I just calmed down, didn't look in the mirrors, and just started driving at like 90% to make sure I didn't crash. And yeah, just lapped from there.
Yeah, cool. Hey, very, very well done tonight, Noah Tara. Unfortunate again on your game issues that prevented you from competing effectively in race one, but a hell of a good resurgence tonight, mate. Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we'll move on to my countryman and my flatmate, one of my good friends, Cheese. Cheese, alrighty-o, mate. Bittersweet?
Yeah, a little bit mixed. I didn't really have too many expectations for this track. Obviously, I put like 30 or 40 laps in before tonight, and I still wasn't really anywhere impressive. So I just figured it was going to be another one of those turn up and see how it goes. But I pulled an absolutely beautiful lap out on the end of qualifying there, and was happy to be up on the front row.
Certainly, it actually caught me by surprise. In commentary, I called it. I called the top five was basically locked in unless something pretty amazing happened. And then, yeah, you out of nowhere got up to the front row. You're starting alongside Lockie Lock. You know it's all about the jump. Possibly struggled to get it a little bit, or just struggling around the outside in P2.
Yeah, I wasn't too worried about that first race because, again, I wasn't really sure if I had the consistent pace to stay there, so I didn't really want to push for a first place and then just kind of create a roadblock. I just wanted to fall in wherever I got and hang it out. And it ended up pretty much working out all the way until the end of the race there. We were jostling, and then I just got sent off and got a bit tilted and made some unnecessarily aggressive moves, and then it still ended up was it third for the first race, so that's it's amazing really for me.
Yeah, good recovery from coming off the track there. Now, obviously tonight, Nathan Higginson having a few woes. I imagine the team chat was a little bit up and down throughout all of the members, but unfortunately for Nathan Higginson, where his woes are, you've capitalised and you've begun to pull it back slightly. Are you aiming to be able to get towards that top two? Do you think you've got the pace to be able to get up to P1? Lockie Lock's a couple of 100 points in front of you in the championship.
Yeah, honestly, I would like to contest for that top spot. I'm not 100% certain that I can pull that gap, but we'll just kind of have to see what happens. I'm obviously a bit upset that Higo had some very unfortunate mistakes, but I mean, yeah, again, it worked out for me, and I'm slowly climbing that ladder. So if I can put myself somewhere in the top three, I'll be pretty stoked.
And top threes all night for you, mate. So very, very well done there. One final question on the battle with Higo. It definitely got a bit bumpy and grindy there for a bit. Were you having any issues there, or was it just was it all smooth sailing between you two?
Oh, I mean, we had a loose plan. We were not going to push each other until it actually mattered. We weren't going to bother duking it out on the first couple of laps. We were just going to try and hold it in, and then let it all loose when it came to it. And did get a bit bumpy, but it was still fun. Yeah, enjoyed all of it actually. So.
Cool, mate. Hey, you're part of some really, really good battling tonight. Not a win, unfortunately. Yet to break the duck again this season. You're coming agonisingly close, but we can't really turn our noses up at 3 podiums. Well done.
Yeah, thanks, mate. You're right. Like I did want to get up there and claim a first, but I also didn't want to do the classic cheese move of send it way too hard at the end and fight itself off track. So I had a good night. I got some good points, and can't be unhappy about that. So yeah, thank you very much, guys.
And finally, last but certainly not least, we will speak to a first-time race winner and a second-time race winner. Congratulations, Lockie Lock.
Thank you very much.
Now, how big is the smile on your face?
Oh, it's ear to ear, man. It's ear to ear.
Excellent, excellent. Now, race one, you've qualified in a pretty damn good position. You're up the pointy end. Noah Tara's unfortunately had a bit of a problem. Do you see it as a really good opportunity for yourself to be able to get into that win? What was your mindset?
My mindset was just to capitalise on others' misfortune, and we had a great battle up front there in all 3 races. So props to everyone that was involved in that. Good, clean fun. But yeah, my aim was ultimately just try and get positions before the inevitable safety cars came out, and then just defend like there's no tomorrow. And luckily, we pulled it off.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought you were involved in some immaculate racing. Now, if I remember correctly, in race one, you were down third, fourth. You were still right there battling for the lead, and then you see the two people in front of you go off in the space of a couple of corners. Do your eyes light up? What happens?
Oh, I was terrified. I came around the corner. I backed off a little to try and defend from Bailey, who was doing a phenomenal job tonight. And I just see the front 3-4 cars all run off. I threaded the needle through two of them, and then Higo nearly killed me as I came. He came back across the track and nearly killed me. And I darted left, nearly had to go on the grass, and then I was shaking that entire last lap of that first race. My feet were. If you could see my brake inputs, it would have been on, off, on, off, on, off. It was, intense.
Yeah, no doubt, Lachlan. Now you had plenty of good fights coming up towards you. Possibly a little bit of luck with a couple of safety cars during some of those battles, but you held on. Do you have anything final to say about an excellent evening?
I just want to say well done to everyone on the safety car restarts. We all did a good job. And I don't think there was anything major that happened from them, so well done to everyone from that. And again, the battling at the front, well done. Good, clean fun. I had lots of fun. I'm sweating buckets now. And also Bailey Hall and a few of the other Super 3 guys as well. Phenomenal job to get up the front. Those were some tough races, and they kept their noses clean and they did a great job, so well done to them.
Mate, hey, well, you've come in absolute leaps and bounds since I first saw you join the series, a year or two ago now. Congratulations on your first and second race wins tonight, mate. Well done.
Thank you very much.
And back over to you, Lewis.
Well, yeah, that pretty much just rounds out the night, really. So, driver interviews done and dusted. I do have an update to the championship standings. I just ran out the top 10, but importantly, the championship lead is cut down to 16 points. So Higginson on 1540 ahead of, 1524, which Lockie Lock is on cheese. 216 points behind on 1,324 with Darren Kemp on 1,092. Steve Warwick on an even 1,000. Then we have Justin Cecil, Ben Hall, Taipan, Matt Cecil, and rounding out the top 10, Rody back in 10th position overall with his pretty handy evening tonight. So very, very interesting night. Well, very, very enjoyable night of racing. I imagine there's going to be a number of drivers that are going to watch that back numerous times. Certainly a very, very entertaining night of racing to call from myself, and I'm sure you feel the same way there, Snipes, as well. But just to go over the calendar now, of course, I'm trying to remember, this may have been slightly modified, so it might not be entirely accurate. Of course, we did have to rejig some of the scheduling for the Supercars and Enduro Cup calendar, but essentially most of this is accurate. But of course, as Barbagallo done, or sorry, not Barbagallo, Hidden Valley done, it does the next round 15th of July at Townsville. Now, we've seen some good racing, and we've also seen some massive action on that circuit. Hopefully we get more of the good racing variety. And of course we do have Sandown, and then the special sort of, I guess you could say, one-off event. I wouldn't say one-off event, I guess, but it is the precursor, the curtain raiser to the Bathurst 500. That will take place on, well, it says here on the 30th of September, but I've got to get that confirmed because we may have moved the Bathurst race. I can't remember off the top of my head. So I do apologise if that's not accurate on your screen. But of course, that'll be a different race for these runners, where obviously much longer, one single race, and there will be pit stops involved as well. Then of course we do have the Gold Coast round. Again, that'll be absolutely bonkers around that circuit, with Pukekohe the second last round of the season, and then Sydney Motorsport Park rounding out the season, where with the way the season's going, Snipes, I reckon this championship may go all the way down to the wire.
Certainly is. It's down to the wire as it is. Probably, I think this is at this point of the season, maybe excluding the first round or two, the closest the championship has been at all. So it's certainly all on at the front. Nathan Higginson will want to bounce back from this result tonight. There is obviously drop rounds to consider still for people. Everyone before Bathurst will get to drop a round. So this could be the one that Nathan Higginson picks, as that is his worst round to date. So it's certainly the one he'd be circling to get rid of at this point in time. But yes, it's all on like Donkey Kong, up and down the field. Margins are tight, not just between the front, but through the midfield and towards the back. There's going to be some late charges too to pick up some spots towards the back into the top 10, I suspect.
Yeah, it's going to be, well, to quote you, it's going to be on like Donkey Kong really for the rest of the season. And with Ben Hall, unfortunately, due to some personal circumstances, probably not taking part with many or any of the rounds remaining, it really is going to open things up. But yeah, we do still have drop rounds to contend with. Another stat that was just passed to me before we leave as well. Lockie Lock, that was his 73rd race that he claimed his race victory in. So it took him 73 races to claim his first win. So a lot of racing, but he's finally gotten over the hump. And then, well, it didn't take him long to get that second one, which came in his 74th race. So he'll be hoping to add a few more of those for the rest of the season. But from myself, Lewis Wedding, and from NZSnipes, aka Kane Gray, we hope to catch you in a few weeks' time from Townsville. But until then, of course, we do have the main Supercars Championship round here at Hidden Valley next Friday night on the Outworld Broadcasting channel. But yeah, we hope you've enjoyed tonight's broadcast. Catch you from Townsville.